This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn Magazine Weekly Volume 16 from May 1623, 1997. It's a Golden Week special double issue, aiming to be a keeper for fans. The cover girl is front and center, with a backdrop of blue and white stars. The magazine highlights a range of games in this issue. Featured titles include Mobile Battleship Nadesico teasing Love Will Win in the End, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, Kakyusei Machi, Marvel Superheroes, Magical Drop 2 Eyes, and Willy Wombat. There's also mention of new software, including Langrisser IV, Quiz Nanero Dreams, Nijiro Machi no Kiseki, Momotaro Dushu, Groove on Fight, Shinsetsu Samurai Spirits Bushido Retsuden, DX Hired, Crime Wave, Advanced World War, Revival of the Millennium Empire, Command and Conquer, and Unsolved. It seems like a packed issue covering a wide variety of genres for SEGA Saturn gamers. This page showcases the anime game Mobile Battleship Nadesico, highlighting its on sale for 5,800 yen and categorizing it as an adventure game. The text uses the phrase "love battle" in stylized Japanese, possibly hinting at the game's themes. Visually, the page features large anime character artwork, with 3 girls prominently displayed and a SEGA Saturn console and controller shown at the bottom, advertising the platform. The overall tone is promotional, emphasizing that the content is cool and encouraging players to launch into the game with the phrase "Hashin Shimasu." This page is all about Mobile Battleship Nadesico, and it's shouting about being on sale for 5,800 yen, labeling it as an adventure game with a love battle theme. It's got a bold headline that reads, "Royal Eruption?" And the text talks about embarking on a journey to defeat the Jovian lizards and save Earth. But it points out that human relationships are key, especially with the many female crew members. It jokes that whether you're liked or disliked is up to you, and asks if you're ready to launch soon. The page has some cool character art and screenshots that seem to show relationship meters and dialogue. We can see characters like Korika, Ruri, and Hikaru interacting with Akito in what looks like his room, or during communications, hinting at the dating sim elements and relationship building in the game. It really pushes the idea that, in the end, love wins, which is quite the tagline. Overall, it's really trying to sell the player on the romantic and adventure aspects of Nadesico. This page presents a really intense and close-up image of a very textured, almost alien-looking face that's quite unsettling. Above this dramatic face, in bold white text, it says, "The truth approaches from the darkness," which sounds like a tagline for a suspenseful game. At the bottom, we can see the PlayStation and SEGA Saturn logos, so we know whatever this is, it's coming to both platforms. The whole feel is definitely dark and mysterious, hinting at a thriller or horror title. The copyright info at the bottom tells us it's from 1997 by Virgin Interactive Entertainment Japan, placing this squarely in the Saturn and PlayStation era. It's a visually arresting advert that uses atmosphere and mystery to grab your attention. This page is an advertisement for The Unsolved Hyper-Science Adventure, a game by creator Asuka Teruo. It's a mystery game based on strange real-world events, starting from the Roswell incident in 1947 and cattle mutilations in the 1970s. The story kicks off with a bizarre murder case of a young woman in Los Angeles, with no blood at the scene and part of her body missing. The game asks if it's the work of aliens or a twisted criminal mind, and the player must investigate to uncover the truth. We see the main characters, Tom Hopkins and Patricia Stone, who will work together to solve the case. Gameplay involves searching for clues, analyzing information, writing reports, and making dialogue choices that influence the story's direction. The advertisement poses some intriguing questions like, is it an unknown massacre? Is it a death project? And, is it a beautiful sacrifice? All hinting at a deep and mysterious plot. The game is currently on sale for both PlayStation and SEGA Saturn, priced at 7,800 yen, and comes on 3 creeds. There's also a comic book version in Weekly Young Sunday, and a novel called Supernatural Phenomenon Investigation File The Unsolved. It definitely looks like a suspenseful and engaging adventure game. This page is a full-page advertisement for Thunder Force vs. on SEGA Saturn from Technosoft. It's promoting the game's return to 2D gameplay with enhanced 3D visuals. The advert highlights the game as the pinnacle of SEGA Saturn shooting games, 5 years after Thunder Force IV. It boasts polygonal graphics for massive enemy ships and new gameplay systems like Overweapon and Hyper Bonus System to create a new era for the series. Below the main text, there are 3 screenshots showcasing in-game action. We can also see release information. It's scheduled for July 11, 1997, with a standard version priced at 6,800 yen and a special pack at 7,800 yen, both excluding tax. The bottom of the page includes the Technosoft logo and company information. This page showcases Stakes Winner 2, a horse racing game for the SEGA Saturn, proclaiming it the strongest horse legend. It emphasizes that this is an arcade-perfect port, featuring an arcade mode and a powered-up breeding mode that allows players to compete in overseas races and aim to create the world's strongest racehorse. The page also highlights a Spring GI prediction contest, following a successful autumn event. If you predict all the winners of the Spring GI races in advance for Stakes Winner 2, you can win an original odds card. To enter, you need to send your predictions to Source or submit them via their website, with deadlines before each race weekend. Important dates mentioned for races are May 11th for the NHK Mile Cup, May 18th for the Takarazuka Kinnan, May 25th for the Oaks, Yushun Himba, and June 1st for the Japanese Derby. At the bottom, you can see the release date is set for May 2, 1997, and the price is 5,800 yen. The game is published by SNK and developed by Saurus. Screenshots of the game give a glimpse of the horse racing action and the UI. This page shines the spotlight on Kakusei, which translates to Underclassmen, a game for the SEGA Saturn. The page emphasizes the feeling of hearts pounding or excitement. It's presented with a collage of images from the game featuring anime-style girls, giving the impression it's likely a dating simulation or visual novel, typical of games from the developer Elf, whose logo is featured at the bottom. The game's title is prominently displayed in large, striking red Japanese characters. This page is all about the game Kakusei, or Underclassmen, building on the previous page's theme of excitement and heart-pounding feelings. The large text at the top translates to, "I want to tell you," which definitely fits the romantic or emotional tone you'd expect from this type of game. It's clearly announced as, "Now on sale," in a yellow burst, letting everyone know it's available to buy. The advert mentions it's a 3 Crodrom set and lists the suggested retail price at 7,800 yen before tax. The page uses a collage of diamond-shaped screenshots, giving glimpses into the game's visuals, showcasing the anime-style girls that are central to the experience. There's also a larger picture of one of the main characters, a schoolgirl with a briefcase, who seems to be a key figure in the game. Right at the bottom there's an age rating, clearly stating it's for players 18 and over. So while it's a dating sim, it's definitely aimed at a mature audience. This page is an advert for Shower English, an English language learning method. It promotes learning English naturally, like how you learn Japanese as a child, through immersion. The method uses repeated listening to cassettes, similar to showering yourself in English. The page highlights the idea of watching foreign films without subtitles as a key to improving your English. It also mentions the English Adventure System, which is described as a best-selling cassette series with over 200,000 users. Testimonials from users are included, talking about how they improved their English listening skills and confidence. The advert offers a free 10-day trial and emphasizes that it's a simple and effective way to learn English through repeated listening. The next page is an advert continuing the introduction to Shower English, the English learning method. It highlights that you can learn 30,000 words in a fun and enjoyable way with this method. The page emphasizes learning English naturally, just like you learn Japanese as a child, through repeated listening. It mentions the English Adventure System and its characters like Drippy and Orson Sensei, who make the learning process engaging. The text explains that by simply listening to the cassettes, you'll absorb English naturally, like showering yourself in the language. It suggests that even complex sentences and vocabulary will become ingrained without strenuous memorization. The advert promotes the idea of a relaxed and enjoyable learning environment where you can immerse yourself in English and improve your skills effortlessly. This page is all about the upcoming release of Eberouge for both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. It's being hyped as a grand romantic adventure game, focusing on the relationships and adventures of schoolgirls. They are emphasizing the compelling story and the deep friendships you'll forge in the game, alongside the romance. The advert highlights that it's a simulation game where you nurture these relationships and experience love as you grow. The game will be released in May for 6,800 yen and will be on 2 credrons, boasting full voice acting and character dialogue. They are also touting exciting school life events and brand new graphic animations in this iteration. Essentially, it's selling itself as a charming and engaging school life romance simulation with enhanced graphics and voice acting. This page is dedicated to the world of Sakura Wars, and it's in full bloom. It highlights the Sakura Wars Flower Division communication game for SEGA Saturn, calling it a multimedia fan club communication in a newspaper-style format. It's packed with audio and visual content, described as a digital fan disc, and includes interviews. It's been well received by fans, apparently. There's a section featuring a fun compatibility fortune-telling game with the Flower Division's 6 members. The page also mentions Sakura Wars-related goods, a compatibility game to enjoy, and even the chance to view stage performances within the game. Advertisements showcase related products. First, Sakura Wars Imperial Assault Secret File is advertised as a Caradrom containing valuable character settings and CG artwork, not just for SEGA Saturn, but also for Windows, Macintosh, 3Do, and PCFX. It boasts unreleased content and comes with bonuses like a special poster and costume patterns. Lastly, the Sakura Wars Flower Division column's official guide is promoted as the ultimate guide to master the game, covering everything from basic techniques to advanced strategies and story mode enjoyment, aiming to please both beginners and experts. This advertisement highlights several game-related publications. The New Century Evangelion Second Impression Bible promises a comprehensive guide to the game, including interviews and behind-the-scenes content. The Scud Race Official Guide Volume 1 offers an in-depth look at the arcade racing game, with detailed visuals and English notations. Langrisser Sacred Sword Secret File is a CD-ROM packed with character art and secrets for the Langrisser series. The Quo Vadis 2 Heavenly Fierce Fighting Uvenray Perfect Guide provides strategies and walkthroughs for the simulation RPG. Finally, the Last Bronx Official Artworks showcases official CG artwork and character designs. This page showcases a few interesting publications. Front and center is Otaku Amigos, a book authored by Toshio Okada, Shunichi Karasawa, and Tadanao Nemuta. It seems to be exploring the concept of otaku and features lively discussions and insights into various subcultures. The page also highlights guest contributors to the book, naming manga artists like Nobuhiro Ito and Kyoko Terashima, illustrator Hiroharu Kaida, rakugo storyteller Tatsuaki Dansuke, film director Yoshio Nakano, manga critic Kentaro Takenuma, and SF writer/chairman Hiroshi Yamamoto. Beside it are adverts for 2 other books. Firstly, Dungeon Rhapsody, written and illustrated by Yasuko Sakata. This book is based on a popular series in Super 64 magazine and is described as a fun collection of comics from a Game Freak manga artist. Secondly, Game Machine is Daisy Daisy no Utaka, or possibly Do Game Machines Sing Daisy Daisy, written by Fuyumi Ono and illustrated by Keinosuke Mizutama. This book is based on a serialized story from the Super Famicom magazine and written by the well-known mystery and fantasy author Fuyumi Ono, known for works like The 12 Kingdoms. It seems to discuss games, with illustrations by Keinosuke Mizutama. Both Dungeon Rhapsody and Game Machine is Daisy Daisy no Utaka are reasonably priced at 971 yen, while Otaku Amigos is listed at 1,300 yen. This page is the contents page of the magazine, and it's issue volume 16 from May 16th to 23rd, 1997. The main visual is Knuckles the Echidna, the popular character from the Sonic the Hedgehog games. There are a few highlighted articles listed here. Page 97 is a special feature focusing on SEGA Saturn peripherals, calling it a Definitive Preservation Edition Guide. Page 81 is another special feature for Golden Week, all about Saturn Urawaza or cheat techniques, and it's called the Urawaza A Go Special. There are also smaller articles listed, including a feature on mobile battleship Nadesico, asking, "Is love the final victory?" There's also something called Real Sound, Wind Regret, likely referring to the sound novel game Real Sound, Kaze, No Regret. Marvel Superheroes is mentioned, obviously the Capcom fighting game. Street, which could be referring to the game Street Fighter, Shimo Kyukusei, or lower-class student, is listed. And Magical Drop 2i is there, the puzzle game. Wily Wombat, which is likely referring to the game Willy Wombat. Saturn Sound School is listed. And then Time Bokan series, Pokan to Ipatsu, which is a game in the Time Bokan anime series. Finally, Doron Pay Effect Edition is mentioned, possibly referring to the anime Doron Enmakun. This page from SEGA Saturn Press magazine serves as both a game index and a preview of upcoming SEGA Saturn titles. The left side features SEGA Saturn Press, highlighting recent releases like Night Striker S, and previews of upcoming games such as Langrisser IV and Groove on Fight. It also advertises a complete software guide mentioning games like Advanced World War, Command & Conquer, and Gun Griffon. Additionally, it includes research reports from Sega's AM development teams. AM1 focuses on the House of the Dead, AM2 previews Virtua Striker 2, and AM3 introduces courses for Top Skater and possibly Virtua Racing X Over. The right side, the Game Index, provides an alphabetical list of games with corresponding page numbers for quick reference. This page is all about exciting news for Sega Saturn fans. First up, there's the Satakore series, which is re-releasing popular Saturn games at budget prices, and they're adding even more games to the lineup. Following the first wave that already launched in April, a second wave is coming on June 20th, possibly including games like Sakura Wars and Virtual Cop. The Satakore lineup includes titles such as Nights into Dreams, Decathlete, Sega Rally Championship Plus, Saturn Bomberman, Puyo Puyo 2, Dragon Ball Z, The Legend, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, D, Princess Maker 2, and Albert Odyssey. The Eldian Lance, covering genres from action to RPG and puzzle games. Also on this page, they're promoting a trip to Sega World Sydney in Australia. Sega is partnering with a travel company for this event. Sega World Sydney is described as a huge indoor entertainment place. This 6-day tour from June 20th to 25th features events like the Sydney Game Olympics, with games like Mad Bazooka and Ghost Hunters at Sega World Sydney. If you're interested in going, applications are open until May 20th, and the trip costs 108,000 yen. April and May saw a VR fighter tournament in Beijing, featuring Virtua Fighter 2, with prizes awarded. Ishii Ryuichi is developing a satellite-linked print club, Precura, photo booth system, multimedia station Nazca, in collaboration with IBM Japan, offering remote printing and themed frames, including Neon Genesis Evangelion. Sega is promoting the Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, Blue Destiny game with a floppy disk label giveaway, and in-store posters. Suntrio Puroland is hosting a Precura photo competition with Suntrio-themed frames. Deadline July 7th. New CD single releases may include tracks from Kahala Tomomi, Aikawa Nanase, Noel, H.I. Standard, and others, plus Makinara Noriyuki's Smiling album, and a monthly Tokimeki Memorial single. A landmark promotion with an unspecified prize and a May 22nd application deadline is also mentioned. This page features Yanagita Ritsuko's Internet Trek, focusing on travel planning online. The main topic is a website called Yadokari, which helps you find accommodations and hot springs all over Japan. The reviewer, Yanagita, highlights how Yadokari is great for planning trips, offering detailed info on hotels and ryokens, traditional inns, including phone numbers, features, and room details. It even has an English version, which is useful for international travelers. The reviewer mentions that browsing through hot spring information is enjoyable and useful for planning trips. The article also mentions a section called Next Destination Selection, which talks about using travel websites to find transport routes and weather forecasts, making pre-trip planning easier. Then it talks about Sega official site, which has apparently upgraded its online shopping. You can now buy Sega character goods online, including items from Sakura Wars and Sonic the Hedgehog, like jackets and t-shirts. Credit card payments are accepted. Finally, there's a travel fortune-telling section, which is described as a lighthearted feature for entertainment. It's a fortune-telling service related to travel with zodiac signs. The page also shows some character goods available for purchase online, with a URL provided for Sega's official goods shop. This page reveals the top 15 best-selling Sega Saturn games. At number 1 is Tudge King the Spirits 2, a new entry racing game, praised for its realistic driving feel and viewpoint changes. Following at number 2 is Professional Baseball Greatest 997, a baseball simulation game. Number 3 is Quo Vadis 2, Wakusei Kyushu Ovenrei, a strategy RPG with appealing character designs and mechanics. Sakura Wars Columns takes the 4th spot, highlighting the fun of Columns gameplay, combined with the charm of meeting Sakura Wars characters. Neon Genesis Evangelion games are also popular, with both the new package version and Second Impression making the list in 5th and 6th positions, respectively. Other games in the ranking include Let's Make a Theme Park, Sankyo Fever Jikai Simulation S, The Convenience Store, Let's Monopolize That Town, Puyo Puyo Sun, Advanced World War, Fighters Megamix, J-League Victory Goal 97, Sentimental Graffiti First Window, and Jante Battle Cosplayer. The page provides weekly and cumulative sales numbers for each title, along with short descriptions and screenshots, giving a snapshot of what Saturn gamers were buying at the time. This page presents 2 popularity charts for SEGA Saturn games. User data top 20 details games Saturn users want ported, with Vampire Savior at the top, followed by Final Fantasy and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Other popular choices include the Dragon Quest series, Street Fighter, Two Eyes, and various titles like Oh My Goddess and Tales of Phantasia. The Shop Data Top 15 chart ranks best-selling arcade games, led by Virtua Fighter 3, Tekken 3, and Virtual On. Street Fighter 2i and The House of the Dead also perform well. Finally, the page spotlights MSH vs. Street Fighter, a highly anticipated fighting game crossover featuring Marvel and Street Fighter characters, including the character Devilot. The overall page offers a look at popular games and a preview of an upcoming release for the SEGA Saturn. This page continues the user popularity chart, now going up to the top 30 games that players are most anticipating. Grandia is still holding strong in first place, followed by Super Robot Taisen Frang at number 2 and Virtua Fighter 3 in third. The top 3 games have screenshots and details about their development progress, some even showing percentage completion rates. Looking further down the list, we can see a wide variety of games, including Sonic Jam, a game called Same Generation 2, Mobile Battleship Nadesico, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Last Bronx, Panzer Dragoon RPG, which is likely a Zell, and even Resident Evil 2. There is also a Pickup Check Game section and a Coming Soon area, hinting at more exciting titles on the horizon. It's clear there's a lot of buzz and anticipation for these upcoming SEGA Saturn games. This page presents the SEGA Saturn Readers Race Volume 51. It's a popularity chart for all SEGA Saturn games based on reader votes. It seems like the readers are rating all the Saturn games out there. Looking at the chart itself, right at the top spot we have Sakura Wars, still holding strong as number 1. Eve Burst Error is at number 2, and Guardian Heroes is in third place. Advanced World War, Millennium Empire of War, is at number 4, and Virtua Fighter 2 is at number 5. Seems like the top spots are dominated by a mix of adventure and action titles. Looking further down, there are lots of familiar names like Nights into Dreams, Digital Pinball, Necronomicon, and, of course, Panzer Dragoon Zwei. There's a section talking about chart movements, highlighting Sakura Wars Great War as a big event. It mentions that Advanced World War, which was at the top for 3 weeks, has dropped to 4th place, and Sakura Wars has reclaimed the top spot. They are also talking about new releases, specifically mentioning Guryu Sangokushi Engi and Mu-chan as noteworthy new titles that are entering the charts and gaining attention. Overall, this page is giving us a snapshot of what Saturn gamers in Japan were loving and playing at the time. It's interesting to see the mix of genres and the shifting popularity of different titles as new games get released. This page reviews 6 new games, showcasing screenshots and scores. Uncharted Waters, New Horizons, 8.9, offers exploration despite dated graphics. Sentimental Graffiti, 8.4, features high-quality visuals but slow transitions. Theme Park, 8.4, is initially confusing but ultimately engrossing, with a complex, addictive simulation. Monster Slider, 8.1, lacks depth and polish. Virtual Hydlide, 8.0, offers detailed rendering and complexity, with long load times, despite a low personal score. Guryu Sangokushi Engi, 7.3, struggles with a complex system. Odds Table Saturn B lists reader review scores for various SEGA Saturn games, reflecting reader popularity. This page highlights 3 new game releases. Mao CHYA is a puzzle game from Virgin Interactive with a score of 7.2 overall and 5.66 from this magazine. Reviewers note its unique system using money and blocks that change size. Sangokushi Returns is a simulation game from Koei, scoring 7.014 overall and 6.0 from this magazine. It's mentioned that it's a PC port that brings back nostalgic memories and is easy for beginners. Jinpei, an action game by Zorus, scores 7.0 overall and 6.0 from this magazine. Reviewers praise its combo system and special moves, but note it may be too difficult for beginners. Below this is the odds table Saturn C, which lists games and their rankings based on reader votes. It seems to be a continuation of the odds table Saturn B from the previous page. Finally, there's a section called Size Evaluation, which appears to be a column discussing game trends and reader feedback, mentioning things like the mystery of the King of Hell. There's also a small section at the bottom about peripheral catalogs and reader opinions on them. The SEGA Saturn magazine previews upcoming games, including titles releasing in April, coinciding with Golden Week. Mini reviews highlight King the Spirits 2, racing game with realism, Emperor Battle Cosplayer, mahjong game with appealing visuals, Aksha Golf, 3D golf game with a TV-like feel, and Legend of K1 Grand Prix 96, fighting game for K1 fans. Reader opinions are featured in Voices of High-Class Horse Owners. Contests include predicting Martian successor Nadesico's ranking and Satama's odds. A table shows reader scores for SEGA Saturn peripherals, with the Virtuostick Pro ranked highest. The magazine also announces the Reader's Race contest, offering prizes like power memory and Saturn software, and lists winners from a previous issue. The next page delves into a Nadesico love consultation lecture, focusing on character-specific love trends and countermeasures for the game Martian successor Nadesico. It breaks down character relationships with a handy chart and dives into the romantic inclinations of Misumaru Eureka. For Eureka, her data is provided: age 20, height 166 centimeters, weight 52 kilograms, and bust, waist, hip measurements: B85, W58 per hour, 86 centimeters. The guide suggests she's easy to approach as a childhood friend, and emphasizes that in-game, she is very direct about her feelings for Akito. There's a section on Omake Mode secrets, hinting that bonus content unlocks as you progress through the game and achieve happy endings. It mentions 24 hidden items in Omake 1 and 2, suggesting there are secrets to uncover for keen players. A gameplay scenario is presented. Classmate, way home, attack Akito. It poses a situation where you, as Akito, are walking home with a classmate and have to choose how to interact. The options include receive a letter, take Eureka's hand, and don't read the letter, highlighting different approaches to romance within the game. Eureka's character is further explored with in-game dialogue, where she expresses her strong feelings for Akihito, calling him her prince. The general review section humorously points out that Eureka is so naturally inclined towards romance that you barely need to do anything. Her affection level rises easily, and she can be quite overwhelming in her expressions of love, potentially becoming a nuisance if you are pursuing other characters. This text reviews character interactions in a dating sim, likely related to Martian successor Nadesico. It analyzes 2 characters, Megumi Reynard and Haruka Minato. Megumi, a 17-year-old, is described as girlish and assertive in romance, with advice to avoid double-timing her. Haruka, the 22-year-old older sister figure, is cool and experienced, with advice to show concern for her, as her affection level doesn't rise easily. The game features date scenarios with varying difficulty levels, and affection levels impact the success of dates. Multiple girls may offer dates simultaneously, forcing the player to choose, with rejecting certain characters significantly lowering their affection. This text offers dating advice for a game likely based on Martian successor Nadesico, focusing on 2 characters, Hoshino Ruri and Irina Kinjo. 1. To succeed with Ruri, an 11-year-old, the advice centers on appealing to her childlike nature during specific events, like a rain-soaked hike. For Irina, a 20-year-old secretary, the key is to pique her interest, such as by discussing birthdays. The game's points section highlights the importance of strategic relationship management. Accepting every date invitation might negatively impact relationships with other female crew members. The advice cautions against over-dating and suggests sometimes declining to maintain a balanced social dynamic within the game. This guide, focusing on battle mode tactics, likely for a game based on Martian successor Nabadesico, details crucial strategies. The time gauge mechanism governs attack and defense, with green providing critical advantages, yellow offering medium benefits, and red resulting in weaker attacks. The gauge depletes faster over time, and speed influences damage. Command input mastery emphasizes efficient controller use, including quick defense commands. Teammate support activates when a character is low on energy, emotionally charged, and hasn't received support already. Defeated allies experience a significant emotion level decrease. Chapter 3. Story Digest introduces new characters, Subaru, Amano, and Meiki, facing battery trouble. Hexakito and the team must rescue them from enemy Estebalises controlled by Wood Planet lizards. The story highlights the escalating enemy strength and the need for new pilots, as indicated by a character named Akatsuki. This page announces an emergency press conference for the upcoming title, Real Sound, Wind Regret. It seems there was a buzz around the voice cast and the game itself. The article details a press conference held on April 16th in Tokyo, smack bang in the middle of voice recording sessions. Apparently, all the main voice actors were present, attracting a huge media presence that energized the recording studio. The article highlights the star power of the three main voice actors, Takashi Kashiwabara, Miho Kano, and Ryoko Shinohara. While their involvement was already known, their specific roles in the story have been kept tightly under wraps, except for the theme being focused on first love. Finally, at this press event, the roles were revealed. Takashi Kashiwabara plays the main character Hiroshi Hakuba, Miho Kano voices Nanae Sugino, and Ryoko Shinohara takes on the role of Izumi. The writer believes this casting makes the game's drama much easier for players to envision. The page also emphasizes Real Sound as an interactive audio drama, focusing on the immersive sound experience and the importance of listening with headphones. It seems the game aims to capture subtle nuances in sound, even breathing. The game is being developed by Warp and is slated for a summer release, priced at 6,400 yen. It's described as an interactive sound drama spread across 3 discs. This page continues the focus on Real Sound, Wind Regret, and features an interview with voice actress Miho Kano, who plays Nanae Sugino in the game. The article is titled, Fourth Dimensional Girl Plays Vegetables, which seems to be a playful nickname for Kano and her character. Kano talks about her experience voicing Nanae. She mentions feeling that her naturally uninhibited and genuine voice fits the role, which is different from her TV and film work, where she needs to embody a specific character's appearance. She found game voice acting allowed her to explore different acting techniques and possibilities. She also mentions that the script and direction by Ino-san and Sakamoto-san were very helpful in creating the atmosphere and dialogue, even if she herself wasn't consciously aware of all the nuances. Kano describes her character Nanae as a charming and attractive girl, even from her own perspective. She appreciates the depth of Hiroshi Hakuba's voice, played by Takashi Kashiwabara, finding it captivating and fitting for the male lead. She feels it makes it easy to become immersed in the audio drama. She playfully mentions that while Hakuba seems like a boy you'd want to spoil, he isn't personally her type romantically. The article also includes a profile box highlighting Kano's innocent smile and 4th dimensional girl persona, as described by director Ino-san. It mentions her approachable and service-oriented nature towards the camera, and lists some of her previous drama roles, including Twins Teacher, Hashiran-ka, and Iguana no Musume. This page continues with Real Sound, Wind Regret, and features an interview with Takashi Kashiwabara, who voices Hiroshi Hakuba. He mentions that during casting, he felt like he was the only person who could portray Hiroshi, who was a perfect fit. He explains that the game's story resonates because everyone experiences similar things in life. Kashiwabara praises the script and the direction from both Ino-san and Sakamoto-san. He thinks Hiroshi is a character that's relatable, someone you might find anywhere, a typical boy in many ways. The page also includes Kashiwabara's profile, highlighting his career, starting with winning the 1993 Jinan Superboy contest, and his work in movies, cinema, and TV dramas. It also mentions his Newcomer of the Year award from the Japan Academy Awards for his role in the movie Love Letter, praising his straightforward way of expressing his thoughts. Ryoko Shinohara, the voice of Izumi Kyoka in Real Sound, Wind Regret, discusses the audio-only nature of the game, initially finding it challenging to convey emotion without visuals. She highlights Izumi's energetic, albeit somewhat self-centered, personality. Shinohara admits she wouldn't want to be Izumi, but admires her carefree spirit and hopes for a similar sweet romance in her own life. She praises Ino-san, a fellow actor, and the recording process's positive atmosphere. Ino-san comments on the high-quality voices, praising Sugano-san, Kashiwabara-san, and Shinohara. He believes the pleasant recording environment will translate into an enjoyable experience for players, encouraging them to imagine scenes and connect with loved ones, due to the interactive experience of the game. Shinohara's past work in Tokyo Performance Doll and the Street Fighter II movie theme song is also mentioned. This page is dedicated to the upcoming arcade fighting game, Marvel Super Heroes, which is also announced for the SEGA Saturn. It's heavily showcasing various characters from the game. We've got Captain America facing off against the Hulk in one screenshot, and other sections focusing on Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, and Wolverine. The text mentions that this game is inheriting the system from the X-Men series, which most likely refers to the gameplay mechanics from previous Capcom X-Men fighting games. It's being presented as a highly anticipated title for fighting game enthusiasts on the Saturn. There's also a picture of a woman who appears to be associated with Capcom's publicity team. This page continues the focus on Marvel superheroes, showcasing even more characters slated to appear in the game. We get spotlights on Psylocke, Shumagorath, Hulk, Thanos, Juggernaut, Wolverine, Magneto, and Blackheart, each accompanied by in-game screenshots and Japanese text descriptions. The text boxes at the bottom, in yellow, seem to be directly addressing the reader with questions like, "What are you doing? Want to see it sooner?" It mentions these are Saturn version screen captures, and apologizes to fans that Magneto and Blackheart are taking a bit longer to be shown, but development is progressing smoothly, and soon all characters will be revealed. The page ends with a big comm and standard copyright details at the very bottom. This article explores SEGA Prime, an amusement arcade in Shibuya, Japan, serving as the real-world inspiration for a featured game. The arcade offers the latest SEGA games, including popular racing titles like Scud Race and Daytona, alongside large-scale immersive machines. SEGA Prime is described as both an entertainment and a fortune-telling spot, although the fortune-telling game from the in-game setting isn't playable in the real arcade. Despite this, the article promises a similar atmosphere, with food and drink options, print club, photo booths, and potentially interactions with characters inspired by the game's detective storyline. The arcade is portrayed as a vibrant and engaging experience, well worth a visit. This page introduces Rongo Rongo 23F Shibuya Racetrack, another amusement spot in Shibuya, following on from SEGA Prime. This place focuses on horse racing metal games and is located on the second and third floors of a building. It's mentioned that this is a Direct Sigma store, a company known for metal games, emphasizing its authenticity in the metal game scene. The page details that the metal game here is called Scott Field, and it operates on a full reception system, meaning if it's full, you'll have to wait in the lobby. Medals are priced at 1,000 yen for 35, and credit cards are accepted. It also notes that most customers are regulars, around 4,050%, but first-timers are welcome. The article suggests that Rongo Rongo is connected to the detective game theme discussed previously, implying a similar atmosphere. There's a map showing Rongo Rongo's location in Shibuya, near SEGA Prime, and other spots like Kirishima Flower and Sardi's Club, all of which are highlighted as featured locations in this Shibuya area guide. The This Week's Stroll Area section focuses on Shibuya's Dogenzaka and Maruyamacho areas, describing them as areas geared towards adults with a different vibe than the bustling center gay. The featured spots are listed again: SEGA Prime, Rongo Rongo Shibuya, Kirishima Flower, and Sardi's Club, reinforcing that these are the key places to check out in this Shibuya exploration. This Golden Week special project, Strolling Town, page, highlights real-world Shibuya locations featured in a game. The first location is Kirishima Flower Shibuya Store, a charming flower shop where the character Ushio, a former Yakuza, buys a bouquet for a proposal. Details like the address, phone number, and 100 yen flower deal are provided. The second spot is Sardi's Club,
a sophisticated bar frequented by the Yakuza. The page provides the bar's address, phone number, and opening hours. The scenario involves Ushio drinking whiskey and soda. The page emphasizes the game's use of authentic Shibuya locations, encouraging players to explore the city and discover these spots, including the jewelry store and other previously mentioned locations like game centers and cafes, enhancing the overall gaming experience. This guide provides tips for the romance game Underclassmen, aiming to help players befriend the 13 girls. The gameplay features seasonal changes that impact events and visuals. Players will encounter various events, including random small events, story-driven large events, date events, and special scenarios. Choosing the right answers during event conversations boosts affection. Giving requested presents increases affection, while refusing decreases it. The guide also addresses event overlap, suggesting players be mindful of triggers. A betting on two strategy is presented, allowing players to date two girls simultaneously, though achieving both endings isn't possible. Save around autumn, choose one girl's ending, then reload to pursue the other. The game, by Elf, is rated 18+ and on sale for 7,800 yen. Rabbit Moon Town, the primary setting of Underclassmen, is detailed with a map and key identifying key locations. These include character homes, Yuko, Aika, Makoto, etc., parks, shops, entertainment venues like game centers and bowling alleys, and essential places like the hospital and train station. The guide encourages exploration, highlighting the variety of destinations available. Navigating the town requires caution. Check store hours, and note potential secret entrances. Visiting girls' homes is advised only after building relationships, unless they are close, like Sukune. Part-time jobs should be chosen carefully, avoiding risky ones. The Beggar Jizu statue provides assistance, especially with time management and confirming dates with the girls. Use its help if you're worried about being late or need to solidify plans. Midoriya Maki from Underclassmen is a spirited Edo girl with a sensitive spot for being late. To win her over, frequent her family's fish shop, Edome, as she is not a student at Rabbit Moon Academy. Build rapport by visiting and engaging with her. Different approaches might be necessary. Her profile includes height, 154 centimeters, bust, waist, hip measurements, blood type A, and a February 20th birthday. Her favorite date spots are Edome, Starship, Miracle Seat, and Manbu Waterwheel. Maki appreciates bright, cheerful conversations and jokes, but dislikes overly sentimental topics and, most importantly, tardiness. Being on time for dates is crucial. Her event schedule lists locations for each season, with Edome being a common location. She usually works at the fish shop from noon until evening. Reina Shindo, a character from a likely dating sim game related to Underclassmen, is introduced. She is a proud and seemingly arrogant 162 centimeters tall girl with measurements 8'4'5'8'8'8", blood type AB, and a November 14th birthday. Her true feelings are hidden behind a facade, and her affection for the protagonist will grow over time. Past events may influence her behavior. To win her affection, avoid criticizing her pride. Engaging conversation involves disagreeing with her. Avoid hurtful or crude jokes. Favorite date spots include Happy Strike Bowling Alley and Miracle Seat Movie Theater. The event schedule is spread across weekends at locations like the 5th Floor Stairs, Rabbit Moon Academy Festival, and others. Dates are possible, but Reina's affection increases slowly, requiring consistent effort. Mochida Ayako, a pure and innocent flower shop girl, is a beginner-friendly character. She works at Catalea Flower Shop, particularly on weekends, and loves flowers. To win her over, visit the shop frequently, buy her flowers, and show a genuine interest in flowers. Her profile reveals her height, measurements, blood type, and birthday. Key date spots include the art museum, amusement park, and garden pool. Avoid physical advances and suggestive jokes. Summer features Sunday events at Nanba Amusement Park, potentially leading to a hotel visit. Autumn has a major Saturday event at Rabbit Moon Station, and winter culminates in a moving Sunday event at World 1 Park. Getting her phone number is essential for progress. This page is dedicated to the upcoming SEGA Saturn release of Magical Drop 3. It's being hyped as a special feature in the magazine, announcing its arrival on the Saturn. The game is slated for release on June 20th, and priced at 5,800 yen. Magical Drop 3 is described as a puzzle game for all ages, perfect for two-player battles. It's based on simple but addictive gameplay, where you grab and throw drops, matching 3 or more of the same color to clear them. The magazine emphasizes its popularity, especially with female players, highlighting its engaging action and unique characters. A big selling point is the massive character roster, boasting 16 characters in total, with 7 brand new additions to the series, and even some hidden characters to discover. The page introduces these new characters, including Death, hailing from the Magical Drop world, Strength, who is supposedly Strength's daughter, the energetic baby son, Hierophant, who is described as a justice-loving handsome youth, the spirited duo Judgment, the pair Lovers, described as 2 becoming 1, and Emperor, who loves beautiful things. The article highlights the game's 100% completion rate, assuring readers it's finished and ready to go for the Saturn. Screenshots show the colorful and chaotic gameplay in action, with characters facing off against each other while manipulating the falling drops, demonstrating that even with fixed number of drops to clear, victory is not always guaranteed. Magical Drop 3 on the SEGA Saturn features a diverse range of gameplay modes. Hitatsura is an endless solo mode with 3 difficulty levels. Taisen, Versus mode, offers intense battles with 5 handicap levels, suitable for all skill levels. Ohanashi, Story mode, places players in a yearly tournament, with character-specific endings and practice matches. The exclusive Sugoroku, Board game mode, allows 1 to 2 players to navigate a board, compete in minigames, and collect medals. A challenging survival victory mode tests players with a no-continue knockout battle. Finally, a new menu introduces custom battles, giving players extensive control to create matches with customized rules, offering unique gameplay experiences. This page focuses on the game Willy Wombat and features an interview with character designer Susumu Matsushita. The headline states, "I draw by gathering the dreams everyone sees," which is a poetic way to describe character design for a widely appealing game. The page highlights Willy Wombat as a new frontier character by Matsushita himself. The interview delves into Willy's creation, exploring why a wombat was chosen from various animal suggestions. Matsushita explains it wasn't a solo decision but came from discussions with the staff. They considered other animals like flying squirrels, but aimed for a popular yet novel character. He felt the word wombat had a nice ring, and the letter W in its name was visually strong and balanced, good for logo design, giving a go feeling. He admits the animal itself wasn't the primary focus, but rather the sound and visual appeal of wombat. Matsushita notes Willy differs somewhat from his previous characters, aiming for a slightly darker atmosphere, moving away from purely commercialized heroes to match changing character needs of the era. He mentions the eyes with pupils as a small detail, and this might be unusual for his style, implying a shift in his design approach. The game seems to be in development, marked at 80% completion, scheduled for release on June 27th by Hudson for 5,800 yen, categorized as an action game for all ages and single-player only. The page includes sketches of Willy Wombat, showcasing the character's design. This page is all about character designer Mr. Matsushita and his creative process, going beyond just Willy Wombat. He's known for characters in various fields like Blue Wave, Gamba Osaka, Famitsu, and Motortown Grand Prix. Beyond illustration, he's also a musician and guitarist, with deep knowledge of music history, especially related to the shadows. The interview delves into how he creates characters. He describes it as a natural process, like characters lining up in his head waiting to be drawn, rather than him consciously forcing their creation. It's like they are queuing up and saying, "Draw me next." He explains when Hudson requested Willy Wombat, it fit into this existing queue of characters in his mind. Willy was initially further back in the queue but came forward when the opportunity arose. Matsushita mentions he gets into full work mode around midnight and is inspired by dreams, allowing him to create works that can foster dreams themselves. His workspace, filled with figures like those from Star Wars and Spoon, also provides inspiration, admiring the artistic spirit and craftsmanship in these figures. The page also touches upon the origins of Willy Wombat. Finally, there's a giveaway for readers of SATURN Magazine, a signed Willy Wombat artwork by Mr. Matsushita. Readers can apply by sending in a postcard with their details. There's also a photo showing Mr. Matsushita in his workspace, surrounded by his collection of items. This page is diving into the secret development documents for Combat Wombat: The Adventures of Willy Wombat,
focusing on the evolution of the main character, Willie, through the rough sketches of Mr. Matsushita. It highlights the game's unique round quarter-view system, where the game screen rotates around Willie, which is a pretty cool feature for the time, giving a fresh take on the action genre. The article titles Willie as the Pursued One, suggesting a storyline where he's constantly on the run, maybe from some kind of organization. It mentions the Miracle Gem as an important item in the game, with a screenshot showing Willie finding it, hinting that it's key to the story. The question, why is he being chased, is posed, suggesting a deeper narrative around Willie's plight.
The bottom section showcases a collection of Mr.
Matsushita's early character sketches for Willie. Interestingly, it points out that these are some of the oldest sketches they've found, dating all the way back to 1993, showing that the Willy Wombat project was in the works for quite a while before release. It really emphasizes the depth of thought and development that went into creating Willie and his world, building on what we learned about Mr. Matsushita's character design process from the previous page. This page, titled Enemy and Hero, delves into the characters of Willy Wombat. On the left side, we see sketches labeled as prototypes for an enemy called Tagdar, featuring armored pig and bird-like creatures. There's a question about whether these enemies will actually appear in the game. Moving on, the page discusses the development of Willie, showing how his design solidified around early 1994. It mentions that after Willie's basic form was decided, various character trials and errors were conducted, ultimately leading to the creation of the Willy Wombat game. The article then introduces Willie as a new hero, born from countless sketches. It quotes the creator's desire to make an outlaw-type hero who lives by his own beliefs, highlighting the strong will and passion behind Willie's creation, and portraying him as a charming protagonist. It also hints at interesting interactions with other characters in the game and unique dialogue compared to other action games. Finally, the right side talks about the promotional pamphlets for Willy Wombat, describing them as having an American comic book style and cool design. These pamphlets were intended for distribution in stores as part of the game's marketing. We can see an example pamphlet cover with Willie and some flavor text, noting the simple yet stylish design and comparing it to American animation. This article previews Waka Music Creator for the SEGA Saturn, a software package enabling users to create music, even without prior musical experience. It highlights the Saturn's surprising capabilities beyond gaming, including its potential as a MIDI sound source for keyboard performances and music composition. The software, part of the Saturn Music School initiative, is designed for ease of use, allowing even beginners to quickly create music. Users will need a MIDI interface adapter, included with the software, to connect to a MIDI keyboard. The article promises an accessible introduction to MIDI and digital track making, DTM, for those unfamiliar with these concepts, suggesting the Saturn can be a fun and accessible entry point into music creation. This page continues to explore using the SEGA Saturn for music creation with the Waka Music Creator software. It explains how surprisingly affordable and easy it is to set up your Saturn as a MIDI sound source right from the start. The page illustrates connecting a MIDI keyboard to the Saturn with a MIDI cable, showing it's not as complicated as it might seem. Basically, you just plug the MIDI cable from the keyboard's MIDI out to the Saturn's MIDI interface in, hook it up to your TV and speakers, and you're ready to go. The article highlights how simple the setup is and how enjoyable it is to play music on the keyboard and hear it through your TV's speakers. It mentions that MIDI cables are inexpensive and readily available. The page encourages beginners to give music creation a try on the Saturn, suggesting it's a fun and rewarding experience. The large text at the bottom translates to something like Heart/Mind Reborn, implying the emotional and transformative aspect of making music with the Saturn. The screenshot likely shows the Waka Music Creator interface with a cartoon character, emphasizing the software's beginner-friendly approach. This guide welcomes beginners to keyboard lessons on the SEGA Saturn, emphasizing ease and self-paced learning. The lesson structure progresses step by step. Step 1 focuses on understanding the lesson format and using a versus mode for practice. Step 2 introduces using both hands, starting with the right hand melody, and emphasizes practice. Step 3 combines both hands for complete playing, enabling accompaniment and sound variations. A point to remember section explains MIDI, musical instrument digital interface, the standard for connecting electronic instruments, and DTM, desktop music. Music creation using compact desktop systems. The guide's encouraging tone makes music creation on the SEGA Saturn seem accessible and enjoyable. The SEGA Saturn offers accessible music creation, even for beginners, enabling keyboard performance recording and playback. Users can play along with accompaniment, simulating a band rehearsal facilitated by the Saturn Music School, with 20 preloaded songs across diverse genres, including anime themes, movie scores, and classic hits. Example songs mentioned include Cruel Angel's Thesis, Fly Me to the Moon, and Smoke on the Water. The Saturn utilizes concepts like GM Sound Source for standardized instrument sounds, and a sequencer for recording and playback. Screenshots from games like Parappa the Rapper and Digital Dance Mix Anisan showcase the rhythm and musical gameplay. While the Saturn provides basic music creation, the page also acknowledges the wider world of music production, mentioning the use of SIACs for more advanced sequencing. The SEGA Saturn's music creation software allows users to easily make original music, even with limited musical knowledge, using its easy sequencer and control pad. The software offers 16 tracks, 32-note polyphony, GM sound compatibility, and saving for up to 8 files. Beginners can start by tweaking samples or pre-made music before composing from scratch. Real-time keyboard input is also supported. To aid in developing musical skills, the software includes 3 mini-games: a music quiz testing music knowledge, a memory game for ear training, and a reflex game to improve keyboard playing speed and accuracy. These games provide a fun way to learn and build musical foundations. This page showcases Bokan to Ipatsu, Doronbo Perfect Version, a shooting game for the SEGA Saturn based on the popular Time Bokan anime series. The page highlights that the game features background music and theme songs from the Time Bokan series, which should bring a sense of nostalgia to fans. It's mentioned as a shooting game for 12 players and suitable for all ages, scheduled for release in August. The page emphasizes the strongest trio of villains from the series as the main antagonists players will face. It details the game's opening movie, which is described as revealing the story in an easy-to-understand way, even with silhouettes,
making it clear who the 3 villains are.
The game features power-ups, where collecting items dropped by enemies will enhance your mecha's abilities, including speed and life recovery, but warns about power-down items. Another highlighted feature is the Dokuro Stone. By defeating enemies with bombs, they transform into Dokuro Stones, and collecting 100 of these stones will transform your mecha into a giant version, making you invincible for a short time. The page also mentions large bosses, including Yatter King, and notes that they attack horizontally, which is described as quite puzzling. Screenshots show gameplay with various enemies, power-ups, and the giant mecha form. Overall, the page presents a fun and action-packed shooting game based on a beloved anime series, promising nostalgia and exciting gameplay. The next page showcases the latest SEGA Saturn game releases and upcoming titles. For recently released games, it lists titles such as Mooncradle, seemingly a unique interactive title, alongside World League Soccer 98 and Startling Odyssey. Also mentioned are Blue Seed Evolution, DX Jinsei Game 2, a Pladal disc featuring Nanako Fujisaki, and titles from the Madu Monogatari and Fishing Koshien series, concluding with Impact Racing. Moving on to the Coming Soon section, the page highlights highly anticipated games like Langrisser IV, the quiz game Quiz Nanero Dreams, Groove on Fight, Samurai Showdown, Warrior's Rage, and Thunder Force Versus.
Further down the list are DX Hired, Eberouge, Crime Wave, Dark Hunter, Free Talk Studio, Mass Destruction, Cube Battler, Distant Front V-Force, and Stake Winner 2. This page is packed with information on a wide variety of games for SEGA Saturn owners to look forward to. This page delves into the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Mooncradle. Positioned as a real movie adventure game, it emphasizes the game's blend of drama and adventure, highlighting the realistic direction and production by the famed Ida Joji. The page talks about how the game cleverly combines real movie footage with interactive elements. Gameplay-wise, Mooncradle lets you directly control the protagonist to investigate incidents. It uses CG graphics for exploration and investigation segments, and when you interact with characters or locations, the game transitions to real movie footage. This aims to provide a deeply immersive investigation experience. The game features conversation scenes using real movie footage, where you need to carefully choose your questions and the order in which you ask them. The page also mentions a hint system designed to make the game accessible even for beginners. This system allows players to adjust the level of hints they receive, ensuring that everyone from novice adventurers to experienced players can enjoy the game at their own pace.
This page showcases World Evolution Soccer for the Sega Saturn, billing it as a strategic soccer game where tactics are key to victory. The article emphasizes the game's depth, boasting 32 selectable teams in 4 game modes: Exhibition, Party Game, World Mode, and Edit Mode. Screenshots display various aspects, including in-game action, team selection, and formation editing. The reviewer highlights the tactical nature of the game, stating that you can issue commands during matches for strategic play. The different modes offer diverse gameplay experiences, from quick exhibition matches to a more in-depth world mode. The edit mode allows for customization, letting players tweak team parameters and player names. Further down, sections on formation selection, standby player selection, and free kick selection demonstrate the level of control and strategic depth available. The page suggests you can become a team director and issue detailed tactical instructions, showcasing features like formation setups, player substitutions, and even free kick strategies. The reviewer appears impressed with the game's focus on strategic elements beyond just button-mashing gameplay. This article previews 2 upcoming games. Skullfang Kugai Den, a new shooting game for the Sega Saturn and part of the Kugai series, is based on a 1996 arcade game. The Saturn version offers 3 modes: Normal, Extra with altered gameplay, and Trial, boss battles.
Speed control is a key strategic element.
The second game is DX Jinsei Game 2, a party board game that improves upon the previous version. Players navigate life events, aiming to become a master of life. It features significantly expanded content, including overseas maps, property, new event types, and a moral parameter influencing events, including bubble events reflecting the late 20th century Japanese economic bubble. The game promises unpredictable fortunes. This page showcases 2 very different types of entertainment coming to the Sega Saturn. First up is Pridal Disc Volume 5 starring Fujisaki Rara. It looks like a digital photo collection, described as a gravure idle digital photo book aimed at fans. It includes photos taken in Okinawa, making ANOF videos, and even mini-games to enjoy. The page even provides Fujisaki Rara's profile details like her birthday, height, and measurements, typical for these kinds of idle releases. Next we have Madu Monogatari, which fans internationally might know better as the Puyo Puyo RPG. This article highlights that this RPG, featuring the popular Puyo Puyo characters, is coming to the Saturn after being well received on Mega Drive and Game Gear. They are emphasizing that the Saturn version maintains the gameplay balance for newcomers. The article focuses on the newly designed main characters, Rulu, Arle Naja, and Sketso Wegi, giving brief descriptions of each. It mentions the gameplay will be side view battles, similar to the Mega Drive version, but with improvements like party play and more impressive animation. There's also a hint at special combination magic between Arle and Sketso, which sounds interesting. They promise more details are coming soon. This page highlights 2 Sega Saturn games. Fishing Koshien 2 is a fishing game with enhanced 3D graphics and realistic fish movements. Players choose 3 anglers from a pool of high school students to compete in a national tournament. It features tournament and free fishing modes across 4 stages, each with different fish types. A versus mode exists for the Crucian Carp stage. The game focuses on realism, explaining fishing techniques. Impact Racing is a racing game with a focus on combat. Players race across diverse courses, destroying enemies and obstacles, while keeping within a time limit. Players select from 5 cars, each with different weapons, armor, and stats.
While speed is important, players must also utilize shooting skills to advance.
The game provides a blend of speed and action, with weapons and items found along the tracks. This page showcases the band Presto Corner in a magazine, focusing on the popular Masu Kishin, Elemental Lord, series appearing in Super Robot Wars F.
It excitedly announces the arrival of characters and mecha from the Masu Kishin series, which were featured in Super Robot Wars 3, 4, and Gaiden. The page highlights several key characters and their iconic mecha. First up is Granzon, piloted by Shu Shirakawa, described as mysterious and unpredictable, sometimes ally, sometimes foe. It also mentions the Neo Granzon form, and notes, Shu's voice actor is Takehito Koyasu. Next, Cybaster and its pilot Masaki Endo are introduced as the strongest Masu Kishin, known for its Psy flash map weapon. The article points out that in the SFC version of Masu Kishin, Cybaster could transform, and this feature might return. Masaki's voice actor is Hikaru Midorikawa.
Valcione R, piloted by Ryun Zoldark, is presented as a dependable ally, shifting from her initial role as an enemy due to her father, Bisesian Zoldark. Ryun's voice actor is Mari Takano, and she is described as a well-rounded character. Finally, Gaddis, piloted by Tutti Norbuk, is mentioned. Tutti is portrayed as a kind and gentle person, a guardian spirit of water who controls Gaddis's. Her voice actor is Yukana Nogami. The page features screenshots showing in-game battles and character portraits, giving a visual glimpse of these Masu Kishin characters in action. An interview with Mr. Terada from Bampresto discusses the Masu Kishin, Elemental Lord, series in the upcoming Super Robot Wars game. The interview focuses on their integration and role in Chapter 4, where they will appear as allies, retaining their established strengths, with parameters drawn from Super Robot Wars 4's. Notable mechs like the Cybaster will feature transformations, and the Granzon might appear earlier than expected, potentially as an ally. Key characters, including Ryun, will return, potentially interacting with characters from DC.
Voice acting will largely remain unchanged, with Rika Fukami voicing Safine. The specific highlights of the Masu Kishin's appearance are being kept secret. Additionally, a new Robination CD, a vocal collection by Super Robot Wars Band, featuring tracks sung by artists like Ichiro Mizuki and Hironobu Kageyama, including guest vocals from Mio, is announced. A postcard submission section encourages fan contributions. This page is an advertisement for Basic for SEGA Saturn, a game development tool that lets you create your own high-speed polygon games on the SEGA Saturn. It's billed as a game development tool and is launching on June 27th. The page features a striking image of a penguin, half normal and half wireframe, symbolizing the combination of creativity and technology. The text explains that with Basic for SEGA Saturn, you can freely harness the SEGA Saturn's powerful graphics, sound, and processing capabilities. It emphasizes that you can create anything from simple programs to games rivaling arcade quality, depending on your ideas and ingenuity. You can enjoy programming directly on the Saturn by connecting a keyboard and FDD, or you can link it to a PC for a more comprehensive development environment. The appeal of Basic as a development language is highlighted. It's easy to get started, and you can quickly execute and refine your code, contrasting it with the complexities of compiler languages and emphasizing the hands-on control of the execution process. The pricing is shown for two versions, a standalone type and a cable connection type, with prices of 12,800 yen and 14,800 yen respectively, excluding tax. Two screenshots are included, showing what appears to be the basic development environment in action, with code and graphical output. This issue of Dream Access features reader submissions. Games of the Week covers Game Center experiences, highlighting long wait times, Outrunners, the Dead or Alive Lives S version, and a Virtua Fighter 3 tournament where a reader won free gameplay but lost to a child. Maria showcases readers winning a significant sum to buy a Saturn and enjoying the console. Voice of the Audience shares comments on Virtual Paradise, Drink Pack vs. Bottle, Descrimson availability, and a discussion about Night Striker and auditory interpretations of the music. This week's series promotes Crimson Red Squadron, praising its music and sound effects with a humorous call for reader info. This page features reader submissions for the Class Love Letter section, where fans express their adoration for SEGA Saturn game characters. There are two main letters highlighted here, both dedicated to characters from Sakura Wars. The first letter is addressed to Sakura Shinguji from Sakura Wars. The writer humorously admits to having initially judged people who fall for fictional characters, but confesses to now feeling the same way after experiencing Sakura Wars. They describe a complete immersion into the game, thinking about Sakura constantly, even during daily activities. The second letter is for Iris Chateaubriand, also from Sakura Wars. This reader recounts a heartwarming experience at a shop where the kind shopkeeper reminded them of Iris. They became flustered and forgot to get a bromide picture, but were amused when the shopkeeper playfully teased them afterwards. The page also includes an illustration of Iris Chateaubriand. Additionally, there are announcements for new reader submission corners. Postcard Recruitment Focus, I Hate This, is a new segment inviting readers to share their dislikes about Saturn games, providing examples like controller issues, game bugs, or save data problems. Another corner,
Girls Chit Chat Corner Girls Gossip Club seems to be a lighter section and starts with reader submissions about a picture of Jackie the dog and a story about a teacher who was a big game and anime fan and received an Evangelion Unit 01 figure as a farewell present.
The page features several reader contributions. Bloodshed Gamer Gathering shares a story about a 1-year-old gamer obsessed with Virtuaron. The Skillful Shopper highlights bargain game hunting experiences, with a reader finding cheap Saturn games and another encountering manual issues with Nights into Dreams. Comic DA presents Warm Sibling Love, a comic strip about siblings deciding on a game to play. Night Princess's Weeping Big Release solicits stories about emotional gaming experiences, with readers sharing tearful reactions to finishing games and a humorous arcade anecdote. Finally, The King of Fighters 96 features an image of Iori Yagami, and a reader from Osaka shares their impressions of the game and a character nicknamed Nagiriocho. The Dream Museum showcases fan art, with a recent shift away from flower-themed submissions. This week's highlights include a stylish handstand drawing in pieces featuring characters from Last Bronx, and a cute devil character. Other submissions include a Grandia illustration, art featuring El Sheshion, and a mecha drawing. A Sonic the Hedgehog piece is also praised. The Kana Prize winner is recognized for detailed line work. The page also provides submission guidelines. Art should be on postcards or white paper, drawn in black ink only, and include the artist's name, age, and phone number. The address for submissions is provided. The next page is an advertisement from Santa, a mail-order game store. It's packed with details for ordering games and hardware for various Sega consoles, including Saturn, Mega Drive, 32X, and Game Gear. The page lists a huge selection of games, categorized by console, with prices clearly marked in Japanese yen. For Saturn, there's a section for new releases and a broader list of titles, including popular games like Outrun, Virtua Fighter 2, and Guardian Heroes. They also have a wide range of Saturn peripherals, such as joysticks, memory cards, and various AV cables. Similarly, for Mega Drive, 32X, and Game Gear, there are extensive lists of games, covering genres from action and RPGs to puzzle and sports games. They offer Mega Drive peripherals like the Multi-Mega Unit and various controller types, 32X software, and Game Gear games and accessories, including batteries and car adapters. The ordering information section details how to place orders via phone or fax, specifying the operating hours and payment methods, which include cash on delivery, bank transfer, and postal money order. They also outline shipping costs, with a base rate, and surcharges for certain regions like Hokkaido and Okinawa. It mentions same-day delivery is possible if you order before 3 p.m. and indicates that Sundays are for delivery, but Saturdays are a day off for the store. This page is showcasing a bunch of 4-panel manga and anthology comics based on popular video games. First up is a 4-DX series for Pocket Monsters, or as we know it, Pokémon. It's based on the original Game Boy games and promises a humorous take on the Pokémon world. Here, they've got a deluxe edition and list a bunch of artists involved. Next, they're advertising the second volume in their 4-DX series, this time for Nitu Shinden, which we know internationally as Battle Arena to Shinden. This one's based on the PlayStation version of the fighting game, and is also a 4-panel comic. Again, they're highlighting the artists who are contributing. Then there's a section for Super Game Anthology Comic Series. Here they feature Super Real Mahjong PV Paradise, which is a manga based on the adult Mahjong game series. It mentions cute girls and original stories. Below that, there are more anthology comics. One is simply titled Tujin Densetsu, which seems to be related to the Toshinden fighting game series again, likely covering the same game as the 4-DX series. There's another for Guketuji Ichizoku 2, or Power Instinct 2, the fighting game known for its quirky characters. And finally, there's a Vampire Hunter Darkstalkers Revenge anthology comic, based on the popular Darkstalkers fighting game series. All of these are described as anthology comics, featuring illustrations and comics drawn by a collection of artists. They are giving price and page details for each book. This page is an advertisement for a mail-order game shop called Creative Human, selling SEGA Saturn software. They are open year-round and accept fax orders 24 hours a day, with phone order business hours from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Shipping is a flat 780 yen.
They are highlighting some reservation titles, including Super Robot Wars Fry, the Complete Edition, which is touted as the ultimate robot crossover game featuring Gundam, Evangelion, and Ideon, priced at 6,800 yen. Another reservation title is Even Burst Error, an adventure game originally from PC, going for 6,120 yen, and Game Paradise Gokuraku Pack, a shooting game from Jaleco featuring heroines, also priced at 6,120 yen. On the right side, it's promoting new software releases for May. Two games are especially highlighted for summer release. Magical School Lunar, priced at 5,670 yen, and Langrisser IV at 7,020 yen. Below this are lists of special price Saturn games and hardware parts with their prices. Finally, there's a big recruitment drive for new members, offering a 5% discount on listed prices, and free delivery for orders over 10,000 yen. Membership is free right now, and can be easily done by phone or fax. This page delves into Sega Saturn information with Volume 30 of Sega Press. It's all about the new SATURN commercial, which seems to be the hot topic. The page walks through the creation of the commercial step by step, using images. It looks like they are building up the word SATURN using physical letters and filming the process, which is pretty creative. They even show cutting out letters, burning the ta character, and using a vacuum cleaner for the air part.
The tagline for the commercial is, "This is cool."
There are sections detailing Sega's information services. Sega Joy Telephone is a phone service for weekly updated Sega info, offering about 3 minutes per call. Sega Fax Club is for getting Sega info via fax, which they recommend for those who already use fax. Weekly Friday Content Update lists phone numbers for different regions in Japan to access updated Sega information. Sega PC Network talks about getting Sega info via PC networks, specifically NiftyServe, and their homepage. Finally, Flash Sega Saturn highlights Volume 16 of a video magazine featuring games. Some titles mentioned are Three Dirty Dwarfs, Sonic Jam, and others like Sonic Jam, True Samurai Spirit, Willy Wombat, and more. It seems like these videos offer previews and gameplay footage, which is pretty neat to check out at stores. This page, featuring a relay column Act 3 by Jun Uesugi, a sound creator from Sega, chronicles his path to Sega, from his early musical endeavors to his work on games like Daytona USA. He shares his interview experience and reflects on joining Sega, mentioning the Dreamcast. The page also includes a Sega Public Relations Bulletin with short articles from Sega employees. South Cloud Boy shares Golden Week plans. Gamer Miki discusses her Tamagotchi and karaoke, and newcomer gamer Nami highlights her love for Scud Race and martial arts dance. A postcard big collection section encourages reader submissions about the Sega Saturn. Usugi continues with his Sega experiences, including game show involvement and the SATURN commercial. He also promotes the upcoming Sonic Team homepage and mentions prizes like Dreamcast soundtracks and Sonic Nightlights. This page showcases the Sega Saturn Soft Databank, a comprehensive listing of Sega Saturn software from November 22, 1994 to April 25, 1997. It's designed to give players a clear overview of available games. The page is packed with game information presented in tables, detailing release dates, game titles, developers, prices, genres, reader and magazine review scores, and compatibility notes. You'll find a mix of genres represented, from action and adventure to strategy and puzzle games. Some of the games listed include Virtua Fighter, Myst, Wanchai Connection, and Daytona USA, alongside many titles that were likely only released in Japan. The tables provide a quick look at how games were received by both readers and the magazine's reviewers, as well as any special controller compatibility or age ratings, like games recommended for players 18 and over. The page is organized by release month, making it easy to see what games came out when, during the Saturn's early years. It's a great resource for anyone looking to explore the Sega Saturn's extensive game library from that period.
This page continues the extensive Sega Saturn game list. You'll see a huge range of titles released around late 1995 and early 1996. Some standouts include Gun Griffon, the Eurasian conflict for mech action fans, FIFA Soccer, 96 for sports gamers, and for fighting game enthusiasts, The King of Fighters 95 and Street Fighter II movie. There's a good mix of genres represented, from puzzle games like Brain Battle Q and classic adventures like Zork I, to more niche titles like Fishing Kapaita N, and even a virtual casino game. You can also spot some Japanese RPGs and strategy games like Dragon Force and Nobunaga no Yabu Returns. The page is still laid out with game details, including review scores from readers and the magazine, which would have helped players decide what to buy. It also notes any special controller requirements and age ratings. Essentially, it's a really detailed snapshot of what Saturn gamers were playing back then. This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn game list. Sticking with the same detailed table format as before, you will still find a great variety of genres here. From shoot-'em-ups like Sonic Wings Special, racing games, fighting games such as Virtua Fighter Kids, puzzle games like Super Puzzle Fighter 2X, and even titles like Road Rash. Just like the previous page, this one is packed with data including release dates, prices, and review scores, giving a good overview of the sheer variety of games that were available for the Saturn around this time. It's essentially more of the game catalog format we've seen before. This page is more of the same extensive SEGA Saturn game catalog, continuing in the same table format. You'll find a huge variety of games listed, covering pretty much every genre imaginable. There are racing games like Street Racer Extra, fighting games like Fighters Megamix, puzzle games such as Panel Action History, Caro Land, and even RPGs like Tactics Ogre. You can also spot some familiar titles, such as Tomb Raiders and Legend of ESC-1 The Best Collection. The page is densely packed with game data like release dates, prices, and both reader and magazine review scores for many of the titles listed. It's really a snapshot of the massive library of games available for the Saturn at the time, showing just how many options gamers had. It's essentially a detailed database of Saturn software for enthusiasts. This page continues the extensive game index, packed with even more SEGA Saturn titles. We're still in the Japanese alphabetical order, going through games from A to So sounds. You'll see a real mix, from titles like the quirky puzzle action of Idle Janshi Tsuchipai series and Aquazone simulation games, to the giant robot battles in Mobile Suit Gundam games. There's platforming action with Clockwork Knight, classic shoot-'em-up thrills with Gradius Deluxe Pack, and even the unique simulation game Marriage. Moving further down the list, you can spot RPGs like Shining Wisdom, puzzle games like various Shanghai titles, and of course iconic series like Neon Genesis Evangelion and Shin Megami Tensei. Fighting game fans will be pleased to see entries from the Street Fighter series, and for Sega fans, there's a selection from the Sega Ages series, bringing classic Sega games to the Saturn. This page really shows the sheer breadth of the Saturn software library, listing a massive number of games available for players. This page continues the extensive game index, showcasing a huge list of games from the Chi to Wa sections of the Japanese alphabet. There's a real mix of genres on display, with role-playing games like Tactics Ogre and Dark Savior sitting alongside action titles such as Die Hard Arcade, known internationally as Dynamite Dika. Fighting game fans will be happy to see a large number of entries for the Virtua Fighter series, including various versions and spin-offs like Virtua Fighter Kids and the CG Portrait series, which focuses on individual characters. Puzzle games are also well represented with multiple Puzzle Bobble titles listed. Other notable games mentioned include the adventure game Myst, the run-and-gun action of Metal Slug, and the classic shoot-'em-up Darius Gaiden. It's really a diverse collection of games, showing the breadth of the Sega Saturn's library. This reader survey from a magazine instructs readers to use a black pen and Arabic numerals. It gathers demographic information like gender, age, and occupation, along with Sega Saturn game ownership and preferred computer game magazines. The survey explores where readers purchase peripherals and asks about their interest in specific articles from the current issue, including features on games like Landmark and Virtual Bart. It then focuses on hardware, inquiring about planned purchases and ownership, listing Sega Saturn consoles and accessories. Finally, the survey concludes by asking readers to select up to 10 games they are interested in from a comprehensive software list, Table 3, showcasing a variety of Saturn titles such as Astal, Vandal Hearts, and Wizard's Harmony 2, demonstrating the console's diverse game library. This page announces a Golden Week special project, focusing on Special Part 1 of Saturn's Urawaza, or Secret Techniques, designed to enhance your Sega Saturn gaming experience during the holidays. The text playfully encourages readers to make the most of their Golden Week break by diving into their Saturn games and discovering hidden tricks to make them 200 times more enjoyable. The illustration depicts a boy enthusiastically playing his Sega Saturn, surrounded by snacks like Choco Flake and popcorn and a bottle of soda, setting a relaxed gaming atmosphere. On the TV screen, we see the words, the Urawaza, and a cheering girl with Ganbat Chu, meaning, do your best, Chu, suggesting she's encouraging the player to master these secret techniques. Game boxes are visible near the Saturn console, one specifically referencing SEGA Saturn Magazine. The page promises complete coverage of Saturn's secret techniques,
hinting at a treasure trove of tips and tricks to be revealed in this special feature for SEGA Saturn gamers. It's all about maximizing the fun with your Saturn during the holidays. This page details hidden features and cheat codes for various SEGA Saturn games. Earthworm Jim 2 features pause-activated commands for effects like full health and special weapons. Idol Genshi Tsuchipai 2 includes codes for special modes, stage selection, and skipping to the ending. Aquazone offers menu simplification, background changes, and fish breeding mechanics via button combinations. Advanced World War. The Ruin of the Millennium Empire allows for facial image selection. Angelic Special has hidden interactions related to fortune-telling and dating advice. Idol Mahjong Final Romance. Rs Cheat allows for cursor interactions during undressing scenes. Finally, an Officer Academy game allows for officer selection using button combinations. This guide reveals hidden features and extra options for several SEGA Saturn games. In Vampire Hunter, Darkstalkers, players can change character colors, access hidden poses and scenes, and unlock various gameplay options like turbo mode and background selection via codes. Wizard's Harmony offers secrets tied to events and characters, enabling cursor enlargement, specific event triggers, and a dating scenario. Virtual Highlight features a special unlockable mode, game over escapes via item use, a hidden sword, recovery springs in specific fields, and an item exchange location. Lastly, Wizardry Vi and V2 Complete provides tricks like unlimited treasure access, advantageous item selling, altered starting equipment, and initial stage changes, offering deeper gameplay options. This text reveals numerous hidden secrets for SEGA Saturn games. In Winning Post 2, increase friendship levels and hear couples talking. Alien Trilogy unlocks unlimited ammo and weapons via passwords and allows stage selection. Winning Post 2 Program 96 has similar unlocks, including expanding course options in race mode and displaying prize money. Ultraman Giants of Light features visual effects triggered by a specific button combination on the title screen. Eternal Melody lets you listen to BGM and uses shortcuts. Japan Virtual Shock 001 enables video editing after a game over. X-Men Children of the Atom allows you to play as Guki, Akuma, with complex character selection input, and unlocks the Jaguar Note battle mode using Guki and controller input. The text also covers in-battle options, character selection shortcuts, and a continue shortcut. This page details secret moves and techniques for various games. For X-Men, Children of the Atom, it provides Urawaza or hidden techniques for characters like Cyclops, Leg Screw, Rapid Punch, Wolverine, Claw, Berserker Barrage, and Storm, Ice Storm. Commands are given for right-facing characters, reversed for left-facing. Next, for F1 Challenge, it offers tips for Very Hard mode, how to view the ending cutscene, activate a Super Tele mode, and access a camera mode. It also explains shift sound effects. Finally, it covers methods to change grid and lap settings using button combinations during mission select. Lastly, Enemy Zero tips are provided, including viewing Laura's shower scene in hard mode after completing normal mode, and making enemies disappear by entering the VDS room. This guide reveals secrets for several SEGA Saturn games. In M Kimi o Tsutaete, your diary partner is determined by your initial answers. Overdrive and GTR offers hidden cars, like the Wario R, and courses, Last Bigas, rally courses via L+R, plus a No Mercy mode, L+R in head-to-head, and maximum starting cash, ABC 6 times, then L in options. Elevator Action Returns lets you play the original game and add options with specific button commands. Guardian Heroes provides many secrets, including a sound test, on character select, 98 continues, specific dip switch changes, message skipping, R, pause display removal, ABC, character-specific moves, a hidden dojo, randomized character colors in versus mode, barrier cancel techniques, 2P mid-game entry, and magic clashes. Ochan no Oikaki logic allows continued play after running out of turns via restart. Finally, Omakase. Taimagyu unlocks features by entering certain names during the name entry. This page unveils gameplay secrets for a fighting game. To avoid a dark ending, avoid harming civilians, showing disrespect, or desecrating corpses. Efficiently level up characters by boosting intelligence and luck, using magic for MP, and repeatedly casting recovery spells. Defeated enemies can be revived with extreme HP if constantly attacked. Debug features are accessed with A, C, and GRI simultaneously, offering options like level 200 start, stage select, versus mode character availability, invincibility, life adjustment, and karma value display. Endings can be skipped, and staff roll speed adjusted.
Display karma by resetting, accessing dip switches, and turning Next Express Disp on. Speed up the game during character select by holding Start and pressing X or B. Activate the Chibico system with Y and a held before the demo screen. Hidden character abilities are accessed by holding A, B, and X during the demo and pressing Start. Specific commands are listed, reversed when facing left. Yamazaki Ryuji and Eiji Kisaragi are unlocked by defeating Tung Fu Ryu in CPU matches and following a specific character selection order. This page details hidden gameplay features for several SEGA Saturn games. A fighting game, likely related to a previous page, features back techniques, special moves accessed through specific button combinations. Kishin Kurindena Star has a secret mode allowing for 99 lives, sound tests, and stage selection via controller inputs. Ungriffon. The Eurasian conflict includes cheat codes for instant endings, infinite ammo, and visual modifications. Perfect Live Pro Baseball Greatest 9 boasts features like stat manipulation, team selection, and advanced player data access. General secrets include SEGA logo sound changes and invincibility/health cheats via pause menus. Hidden items can also be acquired in Stage 1.
Mobile Suit Gundam unlocks stage select after multiple game completions. This document details hidden features in several SEGA Saturn games. In Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, Blue Destiny, stage select unlocks upon completion. Galaxy Fight. Universal Warriors allows display toggling with Start and disables stage scrolling with A, B, and C. Girls Panic boasts numerous secrets. After clearing the game, a movie mode is activated via A, X, B, Z, C on the title screen. Other features include staff roll manipulation, ending sequence cancellation, background/zoom toggles, and pause screen removal. Winning lines can be customized in 2P mode, and a RAW battle triggers specific unlocks. Hidden characters and graphics are also unlockable. Can Bunny Premiere reveals nude scenes after specific game restarts and offers a prank phone call feature and a Vanishing Swiftie cheat. In Cubic Gallery, a code adds puzzles to direct mode. Finally, in Tokyo Mahjong Land, a casino palace becomes accessible via a title screen code and X on the mode select screen. This document details hidden features and cheat codes for several SEGA Saturn games. Galaxy Fraulein Una Remix has a one-use battle command for maximized parameters and an Omatuk mode, accessed via a special card. Felliver Boy offers various bonuses, including double experience, free stat recovery, a playtime display, a hidden gold discovery, and powerful recovery items obtained through specific actions and locations. Gruchanko Yo-Yo S features Oyaji and transformation modes, and a debug mode accessible through button combinations. Different game modes and stage select are also available. King of Boxing unlocks a kangaroo character. Quiz 365 allows pausing with a specific button combination. Radius Deluxe Pack includes the Konami code for power-ups and unlocks a no-wait mode and stage select upon completion, plus a mysterious Ducker Shoots reward. Several SEGA Saturn games offer hidden features. In Granzizer, clearing Advanced unlocks a free run course. Christmas Nights allows playing as knights on April 1st and by obtaining a knight's card permanently. Grid Runner unlocks Grid Racer with a password. Kururin Pa lets you play as Paro Paro King with a button sequence and view all endings instantly. Greatest 996 has a rain mode, stadium rotation controls, all-star team customization, a pet mark jump, and com pitcher trajectory control. Clockwork Knight uses name entries for effects like extra lives or stage select, and features bonus points in Stage 2. Finally, Cleopatra Fortune offers cosplay Petrarco after multiple perfect clears and hints at a 100-stage mystery mode. This guide details various SEGA Saturn game secrets and cheats. In Pepperuchow's Fortune Bag, you can start with 999 lives, unlock playable bosses, and unlock title screen characters by clearing different modes, including a special movie unlock. Echigoya Detective Agency has pose triggers, while an unnamed game features a password for a head start in world mode. Ending sequences can also be accessed in some games via button sequences.
Pepperucho's Fortune Bag also allows you to play as Ginger and access a minigame collection. In Gale Racer, the mascot changes based on car destruction, and the horn can be used. Finally, Tsukihana Kiryoto Toriko unlocks alternate scenes after completing the game, with different button inputs on the title screen.
The text details various secrets and cheats for Sega Saturn games. In Gex, pausing creates footprints. Marriage allows for salary exploitation. Genwar features stage select and staff role viewing cheats. Gotha Ismailia Battle unlocks a test mode with scenario, visual, and sound selects, along with a movement bug, after specific conditions are met. Golden Axe. The duel has a versus mode select. Kyokuju Parodius Da. Deluxe Pack offers power-up commands, round difficulty adjustments, and special stage select. Side Pocket 2. Legendary Hustler provides trick shot samples, table unlocks, and continue manipulation. Cyberdoll has a debug mode with sound and stage selects. Finally, Cyberbots unlocks boss characters like Chiyomaru, Shade, and Dibiro after scenario completion on difficulty 48. This page provides game secrets for Cyberbots: Full Metal Madness, The King of Fighters 96, and Sakura Wars.
Cyberbots tips include unlocking boss characters, Gates, Helion, Super 8s, the Zero Guki/Akuma mode, achieved by specific difficulty clears or arcade mode play, and Warlock/Gates. It also offers move lists for characters like Zero Guki and Gurnitz, and provides team editing tips, holding L or R to save, editing CPU teams. Ultimate move commands change after exceeding a score threshold in single mode and losing to Omega Girl. For the King of Fighters 96, the page details a button sequence to unlock Gurnitz and Kami Chizuru. The page also hints at secrets for the King of Fighters 95. Lastly, Sakura Wars Secret reveals Iris changing clothes in a minigame, accessed by repeatedly pressing L or R. The final code skips to the final stage in an unspecified game, using 777 as an id. Various games feature hidden content unlocked through specific button combinations. An unknown game unlocks a shower scene and hidden stage. The Mizabon technique enhances movement, and Bomb throws in another unknown game. 3x3 Eyes, Absorbing Princess features scenario select and music test codes. Saturn Bomberman has stage select and strongest power-up codes, allows a 6-player game during a specific time, and unlocks characters. The Tower offers money and construction bonuses. Zap! Snowboarding Trisax modifies star count and character focus based on difficulty. The Horde unlocks various advantages, like scenario clears and increased speed. Samurai Spirits. Kenjin Goro Musashi activates Master Manga Hong Kildong command during character selection. This guide offers tips and tricks for several Sega Saturn games. Samurai Showdown. Warrior's Rage lists special moves. Sankyo Fever Real Machine Simulation Sulis details how to unlock additional modes. Romance of the Three Kingdoms games include a money exploit and a bonus point trick. Thunder Force Gold Pack 1 and 2 provides weapon upgrades, stage selects, and instant power commands. Thunderstorm and Road Blaster unlocks options via player settings. Seabass Fishing includes a zoom feature. J.League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru offers name-based cheats for funds and staff roles, along with hidden events. Finally, Space Detective DD, Phantom of Lorelei, unveils a hidden revealing scene in the prologue. This page is a guide to choosing a Sega Saturn console for those who don't yet own one, particularly during Golden Week. It highlights 3 main Saturn models available at the time: the V Saturn, the standard Sega Saturn, and the HI Saturn. The V Saturn, from Victor, is noted for its open price and stylish design. It's described as having a mature, cool, adult's bitter taste color scheme, appealing to a different aesthetic. It also supports photo CD and video CD playback. The standard Sega Saturn is recommended for those who want the genuine article. Priced at 20,000 yen, it is presented as the standard model and good for people who prefer the original Sega experience. The HI Saturn
manufactured by Hitachi and priced at 54,800 yen, is positioned as a high-end option. It boasts built-in photo CD and video CD playback capabilities.
The HI Saturn is described as having a heavy, impressive form factor, reminiscent of overseas Saturn models. The page concludes by recommending that once you've bought a Saturn console, you should next consider purchasing peripherals to enhance your gaming experience.
This page reviews SEGA Saturn controllers, highlighting options for various playstyles. The standard SEGA control pad is praised for its user-friendly design. The cordless pad offers wireless freedom, mimicking the Mega Drive 6-button controller. The multi-controller is designed for multiplayer experiences, ideal for sharing controllers. The SEGA Saturn pad provides analog input and digital options, with added features like rapid fire. The Fighting Commander SS is a compact, lightweight controller, optimized for fighting games, also suitable for shooting games. Lastly, the HoriPad SS is a budget-friendly, lightweight option for those seeking affordability. The overall aim is to guide readers in choosing the best controller to suit their gaming needs. This review examines several SEGA Saturn controllers. The SG Tornado Pad offers comfortable, reliable controls and rapid-fire capabilities via a slow button. The ASC2 Pad X, with its turbo and auto modes, is praised for its fast-firing abilities and long cable. The ASC2 Grip is a one-handed controller well-suited for RPGs but has a stiff directional pad. The SS Joypad DX features large buttons and 3-step auto-fire, though its jog shuttle is limited. The SS Pro Commander excels in complex command input with programmable combos and LCD display, especially useful for fighting games, with optional memory expansion. Finally, the SBOM Joycard, designed for rapid fire, is well suited for shooting games, but its diagonal input can be less precise. This page showcases a range of SEGA Saturn joysticks, emphasizing arcade-style gaming at home. The Virtua Stick is presented as a standard model released alongside Virtua Fighter, praised for its solid feel and response, though some found the stick heavy. The Mission Stick is highlighted for flight simulator games, offering a realistic lever feel, analog throttle, and button placement optimized for games like Afterburner. The Cyber Stick is described as the ultimate joystick, a high-end model designed to mimic arcade cabinet controls, emphasizing premium materials and feel, though its size and price are mentioned as potential drawbacks. The Virtua Stick Pro aims to refine the original Virtua Stick based on user feedback and AM2 development input, improving button layout and overall design for serious gamers. The Twin Stick offers dual sticks for games that require separate hand controls, specifically mentioning games like Virtual On, and praised for its immersive experience. Lastly, the Fighting Sticks Less from Hori Electric is noted for its responsiveness and button layout suited to fighting games, with durable parts and a focus on comfortable play for extended sessions. The viewer comments highlight the strengths and weaknesses of each stick, from value for money to professional grade quality and specialized uses. The page uses screenshots from games like Virtua Fighter and Virtual On to illustrate the joysticks in context. This page reviews several Saturn-compatible joysticks. The Hori Real Arcade VF, designed for Virtua Fighter 2, scores well for realism but is criticized for its limited use. The Fighting Stick Dual Plus by Hori offers compatibility across multiple consoles, but suffers from a heavy feel and stiff buttons on the Saturn. The Imagineer SG Tornado Stick prioritizes portability with its compact design, though button feel is a drawback. ASC2's Fighter Stick X provides an authentic arcade experience with arcade-style buttons and a responsive feel, though it lacks rapid fire. Finally, the Fighter Stick 02 offers the same performance as the X, but with a Street Fighter Alpha 2 theme. The page also briefly mentions the emergence of other input devices like vibration packs and music keyboards, showcasing the Saturn's diverse peripheral landscape. This page showcases a variety of unique peripherals for the SEGA Saturn, moving beyond just joysticks. First up is the Shuttle Mouse, a standard 2-button mouse, praised for its ease of use, especially in simulation and adventure games. Next is a racing controller, a steering wheel setup that's apparently quite large and heavy, designed for racing games and featuring gear shift buttons. Then there's the Barge Gun, which is actually the Virtua Gun. The reviewer emphasizes its accuracy and enjoyment in Virtua Cop games and similar titles, highlighting its appeal for both solo and multiplayer experiences. They also mention a screen mount sight, a device to attach the Virtua Gun to the TV screen for more stable aiming. Following that, there's the Sankyo FF, a pachinko controller from Sankyo, a pachinko machine maker. It's presented as incredibly realistic, aiming to bring the pachinko experience home, and is suggested as a stylish interior item as well. Finally, the Formula Zero racing wheel is featured, boasting compatibility with various consoles including Saturn, PlayStation, and 64, and comes with shift levers and foot pedals. The reviewer calls it the strongest racing controller, praising its adjustability and realistic feel. This page highlights even more essential SEGA Saturn accessories beyond controllers and joysticks, starting with the power memory, which is described as a must-have item for saving game data, addressing the Saturn's limited built-in memory. Then there's the Multi-Terminal 6, a multi-tap that allows up to 7 players to connect, making it ideal for large multiplayer games, and even compatible with older Saturn controllers for big party sessions. Next is the extended RAM cartridge, useful for games that require extra memory to boost performance, especially beneficial for improving graphics in arcade ports and 2D games. The F-Selector is a handy gadget for connecting up to 3 consoles to one TV, simplifying switching between them with a button press. The SBOM multi-tap is specifically for enjoying Bomberman to its fullest, allowing up to 6 players with just 1 tap, or an incredible 10 players by using 2 taps and Hudson Joy cards, perfect for huge Bomberman multiplayer madness. Finally, the CD software case, nicknamed the Mini Saturn, is a book-style storage case for KEDs and manuals, holding up to 10 discs and documentation in a compact and organized way, even described as a stylish item. The overall tone suggests these peripherals are essential for enhancing the SEGA Saturn experience. The SEGA Saturn offered peripherals extending its functionality beyond gaming. The dedicated 14,400 bits per second modem, July 1996, aimed to simplify internet access, bundled with Internet Volume 1 software and supporting X-Band for fighting games. Pad Nifty provided PC communication, though lacking PC features. For word processing, EggWord software, available in 2 sets, allowed document creation, even without a keyboard. A separate keyboard, July 1996, enhanced typing. The floppy disk drive, July 1996, doubled save data capacity. Finally, a printer interface and color inkjet printer enabled document and postcard printing. The peripherals prioritized ease of use and affordability, encouraging users to explore PC-like functions on their Saturn. The SEGA Saturn boasted a diverse range of multimedia peripherals. For video, the movie card and the video CD decoder enabled video CD playback, though the former had quality and content limitations. Photo capabilities were provided by the Photo CD operator for high-quality photo viewing, and the electronic book operator for digital books and multimedia functions. The Video CD and Photo CD twin operator combined both. The Digio digital camera targeted casual users and even linked to Japanese photo booth culture. Various cable options included standard AV, S-terminal, RGB, and RF unit for video and audio output, along with a battle cable for multiplayer. Finally, the 3-rad enhanced audio with 3D sound. The Digio camera was highlighted as user-friendly despite aesthetic limitations. This page focuses on SEGA Saturn hardware and accessories released outside Japan. It covers the North American and European console packages, noting differences in box art and included software. The standard control pad is detailed, along with the backup cartridge, and the 3D control pad, which was black in color, unlike its Japanese counterpart. A 6-player adapter is also mentioned. Import-friendly accessories are then showcased. The STKEY for playing Japanese games on overseas consoles, and the Saturn CD++ for playing imported games on Japanese consoles. Finally, the page features unlicensed peripherals, the toy-like Avenger light gun, the multi-platform Psychopad KO controller, the Ratcon racing wheel, and the Korean Mega Saturn stick, a copy of official arcade sticks, surprisingly well built despite minor flaws and a slightly high price. This page highlights various SEGA Saturn peripherals found in stores. Featured items include the 8 meters direct memory, a high-capacity memory card, the Pro Action Replay cheat device and its companion codebook, and the SS Majoris controller, a widely available gamepad. The S prompter allows Saturn controllers to be used on other consoles. Other peripherals include the extender extension cable, the signal restorative agent for CD repair, and a DC-12V to AC-100V power converter for car use. Finally, the Panther 2 controller, a third-party option with a turbo function, is mentioned. The page cautions users about potential risks associated with unofficial peripherals. Warning about possible lack of official support or repair options should problems occur. Users are advised to exercise caution when using these items. The next page features a special interview with Akinori Oyokawa from Sega's second development department, focusing on the creation of Saturn peripherals. The interview delves into the design philosophy behind these devices, highlighting the emphasis on user-friendliness and comfortable operation. Oyokawa mentions the Saturn's D-pad being highly regarded for its superior feel compared to other controllers. He also touches upon the challenges of balancing arcadey quality feel with affordability and durability for home peripherals. The development process involves close collaboration with software developers to ensure seamless integration and optimal gameplay experience. They are also looking ahead at future Saturn peripherals and hinted at more to come. The page also has a special presents section showcasing ultra-rare premium SEGA Saturn peripherals created by the development team itself. These aren't your regular store-bought items. They are unique, one-of-a-kind samples. Up for grabs is an fashionable white Virtua Stick, a stylish white version of the arcade stick, and a gold, silver, pearl, laugh Virtua Gun, a Virtua Gun with a metallic-like color scheme. Each of these special prizes is limited to only one lucky winner. Sega's Mr. Tosaki discusses Saturn peripherals, emphasizing Sega's long-standing research into user needs, particularly for arcade-style gaming at home. He hints at innovative ideas, like controllers that automate gameplay, inspired by titles like Top Skater. Tosaki reflects on the Saturn's 3-year lifespan and the development timelines for its various peripherals, some taking over 6 years to complete. He highlights Sega's focus on enhancing gameplay with its accessories. The article showcases rare prize items, a luxury feel maroon controller, a skeleton mouse, a skeleton cordless pad, and stylish black cordless pad sets, each containing 2 controllers. These limited edition items are presented as highly sought-after collectibles for discerning gamers. This page focuses on Langrisser IV. It showcases the game with character artwork and an in-development screenshot of the battle scenes. We see character art of McLean and Lanford, described as a Lancer General. The article highlights that Langrisser IV is progressing and shows battle scenes and characters. It mentions that Lanford's voice actor is a proper voice actor and expresses hope for an increase in female fans, noting the battles are getting closer to the anime style. There's a note saying that the in-development battle screen is still being adjusted and differs significantly from the previous games, aiming for a more polished final screen. The text also touches on the game's background and mentions comments from Mr. Tita from Career Soft, stating the game is progressing steadily and the next room version is eagerly anticipated. The page also has details about the game's pricing, with a standard edition at 5,800 yen and a special package at 6,800 yen, describing it as a simulation game. Ryotaro Okiya Yu, the voice actor for Langrisser Efor's Landius, details his experience in a brief interview. He received the role on the recording day and finished his part in about 3 hours. Okiya found the young Landius, age 17 and even 7 in flashbacks, a bit challenging. He notes that Leon from Der Langrisser was closer to his typical roles, and that he didn't find playing Landius particularly hard. He highlights the defeat line, "Did you get something out of that?" as memorable. A separate interview with Shinjiro Takada from Career Soft discusses the game's development status as of April 17th. The remaining tasks include scene unloading, battle scenes, balance adjustments, event checks, AI correction, BGM and sound effects, and opening/ending sequences. The CG is nearing completion, save for background elements, and the script is nearly finalized, indicating the game is in its final adjustment phase. This page spotlights Capcom's upcoming quiz adventure title, Nanero Dreams, Nijirocho no Kiseki, which is scheduled for release on June 27th. The feature is presented as a pin-up of the residents of Nijirochu and focuses on Momoko Fujikura, showcasing her various emotions labeled as joy, anger, sorrow, and pleasure using kanji. The article also mentions a roulette-off mode for the game. In standard play, your movement is determined by a roulette, but this mode lets you turn that off and freely move across the board. making it more accessible to those who may not be quiz game experts. There's also developer commentary, explaining that the initial concept for the game was to be more focused on crude jokes and vulgar humor, but they decided to move away from that to create something more suitable for home consoles, ultimately aiming for a cute and appealing main character. This page continues the feature on Naniro Dreams, Nijirocho no Kiseki, and is dedicated to the character Sakura Emi. The article mentions that Sakura Emi, despite initially being a sub-character, has gained considerable popularity among fans. They note that there's even been requests from fans wanting more event scenes for her, and joke about the possibility of an anime adaptation, where she could potentially play a main role. Furthermore, the page announces new additions to the SEGA Saturn version of Naniro Dreams. They are adding a completely new genre element to the game, alongside the quiz and adventure aspects. These new additions include speed quiz and association game genres, aiming to provide a fresh and engaging gameplay experience beyond just traditional arcade quiz games. Adding to the game's charm, the article playfully hints that even after meeting 4 beautiful women in Nijirochu, there are still more cute girls to discover. It suggests that, guided by Mr. Nishi, they will continue exploring Nijirochu to find even more charming characters, specifically mentioning Kotori Mayumi Sensei and Charlotte as upcoming encounters, with small portraits of these characters also shown. This page shines the spotlight on Groove on Fight, which seems to be the latest installment in the Power Instinct series, referred to here as Guketsuji Ichizoku 3. It's advertising a cool bonus mode, packed with unreleased illustrations and character design documents. The feature is focusing on Character Special Kill Technique Details Volume 1, and it's introducing the special moves and hints for characters Larry, Chris, Poplar, and MAD. The page emphasizes that reaching 100% completion unlocks this Omake mode, described as a treasure trove for fans, especially those fond of illustrator Murata Renji's unique art style. Apparently, by fulfilling certain conditions, you can view character illustrations and even older Power Instinct series artwork within this mode. Game details are provided, including release date in May, genre as fighting action, support for up to 4 players, and compatibility with expansion RAM. It seems there's even a hidden element where clearing specific conditions will reveal past Power Instinct illustrations. There are also sections showing unreleased character design materials and setting details, particularly for one of the female characters, showcasing costume variations and action poses. Interestingly, there are also character sketches for characters who didn't even make it into the final game. This page details Larry's moveset in Groove on Fight, classifying him as a beginner-friendly character. His arsenal includes versatile techniques like the Light Blast, a projectile that can be used in various ways, with different strengths affecting its properties. Slash Step is a fiery attack that prioritizes power or speed depending on the button used, useful for disrupting opponents. Driving Blast offers invincibility, effective for attacking grounded opponents. Hysteric Moment is a gauge-consuming move for dealing high damage. Impact Connection is a standard command technique. Finally, Gatsui attacks offer powerful, slow strikes that can down opponents, with Super Gatsui being an even stronger version achieved through a dodge input, emphasizing the importance of mastering these techniques for success. This page focuses on Chris from Groove on Fight, describing him as a visually striking character with a playstyle that reflects his appearance. The page highlights Chris's characteristic long legs and how they influence his moves, many of which are foot-based. It's mentioned that his special moves are easy to use and excel in rushdown tactics, aerial combat, and anti-air defense, making him a versatile character to play. The page then breaks down some of Chris's key moves. Lightning Slash is a projectile attack that can be executed with different button strengths to alter its properties. Rolling Cannon is a low stance attack launched upwards. Spiral Bomber is a rushing spinning kick, with the strong version hitting multiple times. Anti-ground Rolling Cannon is a jump-in drill kick aimed downwards. Head Slash is an aerial move executed in mid-air, while Lightning Break is presented as a powerful stress shoot move that's slow to start but deals significant damage. Finally, the page shows an example combo called Overdrive Kick, using weak punch and kick buttons leading to a finishing aerial kick, emphasizing Chris's combo potential and stylish moves. There's also a Groove on Fight technique hint section explaining the pair match system, mentioning teammate throws and dual attacks activated during tag-ins, using down and strong punch or touch and down and punch inputs respectively, showcasing team-based mechanics in the game. This page introduces Papura, a magical girl character from Groove on Fight, described as a stylish fighter inheriting her mother's bloodline and magical girl cosplay. The page notes her moves are visually impressive, but generally slower to execute. It details several of Papura's special moves. Girl Commando is a command throw, where she grabs and slams the opponent. Whirling Poi uses her ribbon as a weapon, changing properties based on button strength, with dashes adding extra attack power. Cupid is a jumping attack using a horn to hit. Angles can be adjusted by button presses. Twirling Candy is a candy projectile attack, slow to start but with a large hitbox. Surprise Box is a close-range attack where a doll rushes forward to strike, described as quick for combos. Tulip is a stress shoot move, where Papura summons a giant tulip, biting the opponent and launching them. The Papura special combo section shows a sequence starting with bamboo sword attacks and transitioning into Chinese Kenpo-style moves, ending with a fencing-like strike. The Groove on Fight technique hint section explains a technique to reverse disadvantageous situations by using two center pad buttons simultaneously to enter a counter stance. This stance can guard against regular attacks and unleash a counterattack, but it doesn't defend against low attacks. It suggests predicting opponent attacks and using this technique to turn the tide of battle. Max Axdax from Groove on Fight is a unique character known for his strange techniques and mecha-based attacks. He is slow-moving but has a fast dash. His unconventional special moves make him difficult to master, but potentially powerful. His signature moves include Max Megaphone for zoning, Max Sparkler for electric shocks, Max Ray Gun for space control, Max Net to trap opponents, Max Drill as a jump attack, and Maximum Service, a wide-range swarm attack. A basic combo uses mecha punches, drills, and ray gun attacks. The game emphasizes the importance of landing jumping attacks and chaining weak punches into stronger attacks, and special moves to create effective combos. Players are encouraged to experiment with combinations. This page showcases the upcoming release of Samurai Showdown, Warrior's Rage, which is titled in Japanese. The page emphasizes the game's story, focusing on the revival of Amakusa and the ambition of Mizuki to conquer the world. It highlights the characters of Haomaru, Nakoruru, Ukyo, and Genjuro, who are prominently featured in the artwork. Screenshots show gameplay and story scenes, including in-game dialogue boxes and a map, hinting at a deeper narrative possibly with RPG elements, as indicated by the RPG tag mentioned with the release info. The page mentions that the main appeal of Bushido Retsuden is the story, particularly focusing on the ambitions of Amakusa and Mizuki. It also teases a hidden power eruption mechanic, suggesting special moves or transformations. The game is advertised as being 85% complete and is scheduled for release on June 27th by SNK, priced at 6,800 yen. The voice actors Sanselman and Yasha Kojin, known for the voices of 8 gods, are also highlighted, adding to the game's presentation and character depth. Overall, the page builds excitement for Samurai Showdown, Warrior's Rage by focusing on its engaging story, iconic characters, and new gameplay elements. This page delves deeper into the narrative of Samurai Showdown, Warrior's Rage, focusing on key characters and their roles in the unfolding story. We're introduced to Ushiwaka Hime, who's described as a demon summoned from the demon world by Amakusa. She's depicted as carrying out Amakusa's Edo Castle siege plan, aiming to plunge Edo into chaos. The page also introduces Sankaidushi, a human empowered by Amakusa, who is tasked with disrupting the flow of energy around Mount Fuji to weaken Edo Castle's defenses. Then there's a Power Bainu, another demon summoned by Mizuki from the demon realm. Just like Mizuki herself, he appears as Mizuki's right-hand man in the present world, playing a crucial role in Mizuki's revival and her plans to unleash the Calamity Blade. Agu seems to be gathering energy in Izumo to aid Mizuki's resurrection. Finally, we meet Yuki,
a demon princess controlled by Mizuki. Yuki resides in Beijing's Forbidden City, and Mizuki is using the Calamity Blade to turn her into a demonic servant. This is apparently part of a larger strategy to dominate the Chinese continent by controlling key figures like Yuki Piki. Yuki is described as absorbing the fear and despair of the people in Beijing to fuel Mizuki's power in Japan. Throughout the page, screenshots illustrate scenes from the game, showing characters in dialogue and action, and maps highlighting locations like Edo and Beijing. The text emphasizes the complex web of characters and their interconnected plots, driven by Amakusa and Mizuki's grand schemes. This page has information on 2 different games. The first section focuses on a character named Sankaidushi from Samurai Showdowns. He is described as a demon wielding 2 swords who is targeting the main characters. The setting is Isenase, a sacred place of Amaterasu Omikami in Japan. Sankaidushi was originally human but has become a demon in Isis. He is working with Amakusa and Ushiwaka Hime, continuing the storyline from the previous page, and plans to disrupt the energy around Ise, similar to his previous plan for Mount Fuji. The second game highlighted is about a character named Count Saint-Germain. This game seems to be set in Europe, specifically Paris. Count Saint-Germain is a mysterious figure who uses science and magic, and he is gathering warriors in Europe, especially in Paris and Versailles. He appears to be a powerful and somewhat villainous figure, aiming to conquer Europe by using demonic powers. The screenshots show in-game scenes in what looks like a European city setting, with characters who are presumably these European warriors, and Count Saint-Germain himself. The text mentions the Scarlet Lion Knights, led by Caesar, as being involved. It also mentions that Count Saint-Germain's plans could turn these warriors into demonic servants. Thunder Force V is a high-mobility combat shooting game with a focus on its weapon system. Players pilot the gauntlet and utilize 5 weapon types: twin shot, forward, back shot, rear, wave shot, penetrating, freeway, lasers, and hunter, homing missiles. The core, over weapon system, allows for strategic weapon switching by collecting claw items to equip up to 3 additional weapons alongside the default twin and backshots. The game maintains the basic gameplay of previous titles, but with enhanced visuals and power-ups. Currently 80% complete, Thunder Force V is set to release on July 11th for 6,800 yen, 7,800 yen with a music CD pack. The single-player game supports multi-controllers and is being developed with a commitment to a moving player experience. This page introduces the ocean and underwater stage for what appears to be Thunder Force V, continuing from the previous page's discussion. It highlights the immersive experience of fighting both above and below the vast ocean surface. The article emphasizes the game's polygon graphics, which enable dynamic camera angles not seen in typical side-scrolling shooters, enhancing the visual presentation during gameplay and boss encounters. A key feature spotlighted is the boss character Queen, who dramatically emerges from the ocean. Queen is described as a large, imposing figure, a blend of machine and creature, with massive wings. Players are instructed to target her central core, her weak point, while facing her powerful and diverse attacks. The page also draws attention to the detailed character animation made possible by polygons, specifically showcasing the intricate movement of Queen's wings through a sequence of images. Finally, it teases a dramatic moment after defeating Queen, suggesting that her defeat is not the end, with a to-be-continued message, hinting at a re-emergence or further challenges ahead. Overall, the page is designed to excite players about the visual and gameplay innovations of this ocean-themed stage and its formidable boss. Drexherd's core gameplay revolves around 4 key mechanics. Players must manage health and guard gauges. Damage boosts attack power. Blocking depletes the guard gauge, leading to vulnerability. Weapons are crucial, providing reach and power advantages. Opponents can be disarmed through various methods, and broken weapons respawn. Beyond standard attacks, the game features throws, evade attacks, counterattacks, and unguardable attacks. Throws primarily target standing foes, while evade/counterattacks punish openings. Finally, stages include interactive elements like walls and breakable floors. Stage hazards, including ringouts, influence combat strategy and require players to consider ring recovery. This page previews signature moves in the game, likely DX Hired, focusing on Boy, Karen, and Lucifer. Boy's moves include Discharge Impact,
a combo with a jumping attack, and cannon explosion, a projectile. Karen uses spinning metya slash, a 3-stage chakram combo, and Anbu Popopo, a grappling move. Lucifer showcases Crimson Wings of Ruin, a fiery attack with variations, Hiding Shadow, a counter-attack with a trip, and Death God's Wheel Dance, a powerful spinning necklock. The page emphasizes the game's diverse fighting styles and teases more character information to come, indicating this is a preview of various flashy techniques. This page introduces characters from the game Eberrouge. First up is Eltz Kilkenny, a 14-year-old girl described as having two sides, kindness and mischievousness. She's quick to make friends, but doesn't get along with someone named Castell.
We see her at age 9 and 14.
Next is Maurizio Colmarle, also 14, who loves to chat and is good at gathering information. Similar to Eltz, we see her at ages 9 and 14. Lastly, there's Ringel Falcon, a 14-year-old girl with a strong, boyish personality who hates being called girly. Again, images for ages 9 and 14 are shown. The page also details in-game activities. The martial arts department focuses on improving physical and magical abilities through combat commands. The club activities department lets you join clubs, impacting your stats based on the club you choose. The literature department is for studying, which increases your knowledge and mental abilities. The page boasts a 99% completion rate for the game, and mentions it's priced at 6,800 yen, and is an SLG on 2 discs. It is also a message from the developers apologizing for the slight delay, saying they wanted to make the game even better and prettier before release, and that the character introductions and schedules are being checked. It's presented from the Tri-Freeze Girls School Student Council. This page seems to be a continuation of the game preview, likely still focusing on Eberrouge. We are introduced to more characters. First up is Codine Hart, a lively 14-year-old girl who's energetic and loves basketball. Then there's Felton Mateus, also 14, described as thoughtful and gentle, liking small animals and understanding their feelings. Lastly, we have Stanbelk Barcelos, another 14-year-old, who is academically and athletically gifted and very popular, but also a hard worker despite his appearance. The page also details some game mechanics. Creation magic is described as a special subject that reveals the core of stories and improves sensitivity and skills. Rest is the only way to recover stats, and letting them get too low can lead to illness and reduced physical and technical abilities. Exploration allows for free action outside of lessons,
Utilizing town facilities.
We also see sections describing Euros Provenance, which seems to detail different departments or skill branches.
Science improves knowledge and reasoning, but reduces sensitivity.
Art enhances sensitivity and slightly influences creation magic, also reducing physical and technical skills. Healing magic trains healing magic and increases willpower and reasoning, also reducing technical skills. Finally, martial arts magic focuses on martial arts and magic, improving willpower and technical skills, but reducing reasoning and creation magic. Lastly, there's Michael Darradine, described as a typical bully who likes tormenting nice kids. This page introduces Crime Wave, a driving shooting game. The game is set in a chaotic future city called Mikao, where bounty hunters have taken over law enforcement. You play as a bounty hunter tasked with restoring order, or perhaps causing more chaos. It's up to you. The page highlights different gameplay aspects. Uncle working in Mikio Bounty Hunter Edition introduces the bounty hunter theme, emphasizing their role in protecting the town, even against dangerous criminals. Patrol describes how players will drive around town, observing and waiting for targets. It mentions humorous aspects like honking the horn. Discovery explains how targets are found using a scanner, initiating chase sequences marked by red arrows and a map. Order destroyers under the guise of public safety, the outrageousness of bounty hunters, delves into the darker side of bounty hunters, describing them as self-serving and questioning the morality of their actions in this lawless city. Finally, Worst Traffic Manners points out the game's lenient traffic rules, allowing players to ignore lanes and even crash into things. The screenshots show various in-game scenes, including driving, targeting enemies, and the city environment. The page also includes a completion rate 100% badge, possibly indicating a demo or early build completion status. It suggests the game is recommended for players who like speed, freedom, and a bit of vehicular mayhem, with a humorous comment about people's personalities changing when they get behind the wheel. This page continues detailing the gameplay of Crime Wave, highlighting the competitive nature of bounty hunting in Mikio City. It emphasizes that bounty hunters might be even more dangerous than the criminals they are supposed to catch, as they compete for the same targets and rewards. The page points out that in two-player mode, this competition intensifies dramatically, leading to chaotic battles between players. It explains the core gameplay loop as a repeat of rewards, involving battles and destruction. When engaging a target, players have a limited time of only 2 minutes, from discovery to subdual. Failure to complete the mission within this time will result in the target self-destructing. Successfully destroying a target rewards the player with 100 Mika dollars, plus a time bonus. Destroying targets also yields item pickups like weapons and speed boosts, essential for future encounters. Adding a morally ambiguous layer, the game allows players to target innocent civilian vehicles for extra cash. It mentions that destroying a civilian car provides 5 mecha dollars, which encourages players to potentially disregard civilian safety for financial gain. The page concludes by suggesting that to truly master Crime Wave, players should embrace this ruthless bounty hunter mentality and become destruction-crazed demons, even at the expense of innocent civilians, to maximize their earnings. This page introduces Dark Hunter Forest of Demons, described as a super first-class story adventure game designed to teach English. It's highlighted as a sequel that's coming soon. The game is structured around an animation drama and training questions sections. The adventure part of the game is said to be very game-like, and it seems you progress by choosing options and battling enemies. The training sections are designed to reinforce English language skills. We get introduced to several characters. Mariko, who is the main character and a student at the academy targeted by monsters. Ran, also a main character, seeking revenge for her family. Cheryl, a CIA agent investigating monsters. Charles Kuroda, Cheryl's lover who infiltrated the academy ahead of her. Satoshi, who also lost his family to monsters. Yuichi, a baseball club member at the academy who seems to be possessed by a monster. And Saogen Kuji, the enigmatic headmaster of the academy. The story is set in Kagen Academy, a boarding school facing various problems and hidden monsters. It mentions that Mariko, Ran, and Cheryl all came to this academy for their own reasons, but upon arrival, they found it had already become a monster's den. It seems all students and teachers except for these three have been taken over by monsters.
The game seems to be about solving the mystery of the academy and facing these monsters. The page suggests that players need to clear all scenarios to uncover the truth.
Dark Hunter, Forest of Demons, expands its narrative by focusing on individual character scenarios. Mariko's section involves English learning puzzles, vision-based exploration, and monster encounters. Ran's storyline features school gate conflicts, capture, and an underground green bus environment. The game introduces a pattern-based combat system using A and C buttons to react to attacks. Cheryl's segment centers on her relationship with the possessed Charles, forcing her to make a grim choice. Satoshi appears to Cheryl, possibly making a promise. Each character's separate journeys ultimately lead them toward an underground ritual site, converging the storylines. This page is about Free Talk Studio, a simulation game where you become a DJ named Marie. It's all about hosting a radio program and having engaging conversations with guests to create a popular show. The page highlights that you need to carefully choose your words, as they affect the guest's mood and the overall atmosphere of the studio. It points out key elements like monitoring program popularity, understanding guest moods, selecting dialogue options wisely, and following on-screen instructions to progress. The game seems to revolve around picking the right conversational responses to keep guests happy and the show successful, showcasing how different dialogue choices can lead to varied reactions like happiness or anger from the guests. This page is all about diving deeper into the guests that will appear on your radio show in Free Talk Studio. It introduces a few of the quirky personalities you'll be interviewing, like Aya Itonokawa, a comedian who's quick-witted and loves insects. Then there's Yoriko Mikogami, an occult writer who brings a strange and mysterious vibe to the studio, with talk of eerie sounds and studio disturbances. You'll even have to watch out for unexpected interruptions from a pet lizard and a mischievous younger brother character who can cause chaos. The page highlights Nanesi Hiruma, a self-proclaimed artist who believes art is an explosion. Her segments look pretty wild, with her creating bizarre art pieces and generally being quite unpredictable. It seems you'll need to be patient to deal with her artistic outbursts. We also get introduced to Natsumi Kawai, a popular idol singer who was the fourth guest on the show. It mentions that you can even get Natsumi to sing the theme song for your program if you play your cards right. Interestingly, the game features original songs sung by Mari Kotobuki, who voices both the main DJ Mari and Natsumi, so music seems to be a key element. Finally, there's a mention of a special promotional giveaway of sticker sheets designed to look like photo booth pictures featuring characters from the game, a cool little bonus for fans. Mass Destruction is a future-set action game where players control a mobile tank in a war between Allied and Republic forces. The game emphasizes destructive gameplay, with a high percentage of destructible environments and simple controls, making it accessible even for casual players. Principles of Destruction. Gameplay tips guide players on target prioritization and weapon selection. The review highlights the game's addictive nature and satisfying gameplay, awarding it a 95% completion rate. Marketed with the tagline, "Even dads can play this game," the review playfully suggests its family-friendly appeal. Developed in the UK and published by BMG Japan, it was released on June 27 for 5,800 yen as a shooting game suitable for all ages. Mass Destruction features 24 missions across 6 zones, each with varied objectives beyond simple demolition. Missions include rescuing people and retrieving items. Examples include the desert-based Mantan operation, destroying water and bases, and the city-set Destruction Reconnaissance operation, extracting a spy and disabling power. Operation Polar Bear in a snowy region focuses on securing a nuclear base. A hidden mission, Silent Operation, unlocks by destroying the water supply in Mission 1, and involves taking down a satellite system. The game has a 2-stage explosion system where buildings become unusable before being completely destroyed for bonus points. Players are incentivized to complete missions quickly, as excessive destruction of non-military targets reduces time bonuses. A mission stats table tracks performance metrics such as destruction counts, pickups, objectives, time, and score. Cube Battler. Story of Anna is a digital animation puzzle game and sequel to Debugger Karyu, offering a parallel story from Anna's perspective. Refining the puzzle elements, the game introduces Anna, a cheerful character with a hidden sadness. It also revisits Karyu, a skilled gamer and aspiring game developer. The game's story explores the cube battle system's origins, revealing Karyu's involvement and his suspicion of Shine Angel's claim to the system. Anna enters the Cube Battler tournament to find a boyfriend. The story progresses with her winning preliminary rounds and then facing Karyu, hinting at a playful rivalry and her desire to win against him. Released on May 23 for 5,800 yen, the all-ages game supports 2-player gameplay and includes a picture calendar and original karaoke tracks, similar to Debugger Karyu. This page delves deeper into Cube Battler, Story of Anna and its gameplay mechanics. It starts with a rules refresher, explaining that it's a digital animation puzzle game where you fill in picture cubes. The goal is to fill all 12 cubes to win, but you can also attack your opponent by targeting flashing red squares. Getting attacked means losing cubes and health, and depleting all your opponent's health also leads to victory. The page then details attack methods. By pressing the attack button and matching cubes to the flashing red squares, you can launch attacks. For defense, you need to block immediately when your opponent attacks by pressing the defense button, which minimizes the damage. A highlight is Anna's powered-up moves. She's got 2 new special attacks, Illusion Kick and Illusion Hurricane. Illusion Kick is a single cube attack, while Illusion Hurricane uses 2 cubes simultaneously for a more powerful hit. These moves are said to be crucial for victory. The story aspect is touched upon again, focusing on Anna's quest to find a boyfriend through the Cube Battler tournament, leading to encounters with characters like Bomba. The page also mentions the game's well-received ending theme song, Come On, the Hero, which is apparently popular on radio and karaoke. It really rounds out the game's appeal beyond just the puzzle battles. This page is all about strategy and advice for the game V-Force. It's broken down into sections to help players get ready for and win battles. First up is pre-battle preparation, stressing that understanding the story and mission objectives is key before jumping into combat. Next, strategy for battle talks about how crucial it is to take the initiative in fights, as direct confrontations are rare in this game. Positioning and exploiting range are highlighted as important tactical elements. The Knowing the Situation section advises players to watch the demo scenes carefully as they reveal battlefield conditions and enemy setups. Preparing equipment is about choosing the right weapons, mentioning that the terrain and enemy types should influence your loadout. Options are also important, points out the necessity of customizing your units and equipment effectively to avoid losing battles. A point section reminds players to check enemy durability and choose weapons that are appropriate for the enemy's defenses. Finally, the boss defeat method suggests that boss battles often have unique conditions, and it's effective to overwhelm bosses with multiple units and powerful weapons designed for anti-ship combat, especially against tougher bosses. This page showcases the upcoming SEGA Saturn game, Stakes Winner 2. It's all about aiming for global domination in horse racing. This sequel boasts 3 different gameplay modes, promising even more depth than the original Stakes Winner. One of the big changes is a new system that revamps the races. Now, skills and items are crucial and can be bought using your winnings, adding a strategic layer beyond just horse stats. You've also got to watch your riding manners, as being too aggressive can earn you up to 3 yellow cards. Get 3 yellows, and you'll be penalized even if you win. But don't worry, there's a new boost feature too, letting you make a last-minute surge for victory when the timing is right. Events are a major focus, with a significant increase in variety. You'll be competing in overseas races, facing off against rivals, and even dealing with unexpected incidents like your horse getting injured. The page also highlights 2 main modes: an original mode focusing on breeding, and an arcade mode where you purchase horses. There's a little newspaper snippet promoting the overseas Big One races as a key challenge. The developers at Saurus are clearly aiming to deliver a deeper and more engaging horse racing experience. The reviewer seems pretty excited too, saying it's going to be a blast, and even recommending players check out the included guide on horse breeding strategies. This page is all about the amazing success of Sakura Wars, which has swept up 4 awards at the SEGA Grand Awards. It's a huge win, and the article emphasizes that these awards are special because they are voted for by the users themselves. Hiroi Oji from Red Company is interviewed, and he sounds really happy and a bit surprised by the scale of the win, especially considering they thought they might only snag 1 award at most. He credits the success to the fantastic team effort, mentioning the character designs, scenario writing, music, voice acting, and all the talent involved in bringing the game to life. He hints at the future of the series, mentioning that while Sakura Wars 2 isn't officially decided yet, he's already started thinking about the music design for it. There's also a section about events at the Tokyo Game Show SEGA booth. Apparently the SEGA booth was packed with people, and they had a bunch of events running, including talk shows by famous game creators. One of the highlights was a talk show featuring Hiroi Oji, and they also did a public recording of the Sakura Wars Imperial Capital radio station program. This radio program is being renewed, and starting in April, will be broadcast every Sunday evening for 30 minutes, featuring voice actors from the game and even listener participation segments. It sounds like the Sakura Wars phenomenon was in full swing and drawing huge crowds. This page is a complete guide to SEGA Saturn software that has been released. It's presented as a strategy guide corner, this time focusing on 3 brainy games. The feature highlights 3 titles in particular. First up is Advanced World War, Rise and Fall of the Millennium Empire. Then there's Command and Conquer, a strategy classic. And finally, they feature Area 51, likely under the name The Unsolved here, judging by the monster image, which fits Area 51's theme. The page is designed to help players thoroughly, meaning conquer or strategize these games after their release. This article provides strategy tips for the SLG Advanced World War, Rise and Fall of the Millennium Empire, specifically focusing on the Second Moscow counteroffensive maps. Set in a snowy environment, the map limits unit movement, demanding rapid, strategic actions. The key to victory involves avoiding unnecessary engagements and focusing on advancing through areas with fewer enemies, particularly using the suggested route from starting point B through map C towards city number 3. Players should prioritize capturing the 4 cities, defending against counterattacks by eliminating infantry units capable of occupying them. The article also highlights the advantage of utilizing air power. The overall challenge lies in achieving victory within a tight turn limit, necessitating precise judgment and tactical decision-making. This section of the Advanced World War Strategy Guide covers 2 new maps and the game's reward system. Soviet Collapse, Map No. 45, emphasizes mobile units due to the snowy terrain, similar to a previous map. The key strategy is a fast capture of the Kremlin to eliminate the Western Army. British Mainland Landing Operation, Map No. 61, details a German invasion of Britain, focusing on capturing or destroying specific points. Prioritizing the enemy air force and utilizing fighters to weaken defenses before bombing City 2 are crucial. Italian naval support is available. The Hero's Essential Items section discusses rewards, including medals like the Distinguished Military Academy Badge, decorations, and unique items like a record and portraits. This page of the complete guide for SEGA Saturn games introduces Map 62 of Advanced World War, Thousand-Year Empire's Demise, titled Empire of the Setting Sun. The strategy guide focuses on breaking through a strong enemy line of defenses on this map. The main objective cities are London and Liverpool, with Liverpool being the more challenging target. The German forces are described as having strong reinforcements, including powerful tanks like elephants and tigers, and the guide advises players to use hero units effectively against the numerous enemies. This page also reveals hidden commands in Advanced World War.
Firstly, it details how to change character portraits when entering your name. By entering names like Stea or Christie, you can get female officer portraits. Entering Mariko will give you a portrait of a black officer. Furthermore, entering names like Pineapple, Oyabun, Nyari, Marira, and Chameleon during name entry unlocks even more unusual face patterns. The guide then explains how to select specific officers during the Officer School Graduation Test selection screen. By inputting names from a list and pressing the C button along with specific directional buttons and other buttons like L, R, X, Z, Start, and Y, players can choose particular officers like Walter, Franz, Helena, and others. This method allows for a more customized officer selection process.
This page continues the strategy guide for Advanced World War, Thousand-Year Empire's Demise, focusing on German Army and Navy main equipment data. It looks like a detailed list for players who want to know the stats of different German military units in the game. The page presents two large tables, one for land-based equipment and one for naval equipment. Each entry includes the unit name in Japanese, the type of unit, and numerical stats for search, movement, land defense, air defense, and sea defense. Looking at the land equipment table, it includes a variety of unit types like armored cars, light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers, and self-propelled guns. Examples mentioned are PSW 222 armored cars, various Panzer tank models like Panzer I, II, II-I, IV, Panther, Tiger, and tank destroyers like Martyr and Jagdpanther. Or naval equipment, the table lists warships like battleships, Bismarck, Tirpitz, Littorio, cruisers, destroyers, and submarines. There are also entries for coastal artillery and anti-aircraft towers categorized as fortresses. It's a very stat-heavy page for players who are really into the details of unit performance in Advanced World War. It seems designed to help players understand the strengths and weaknesses of different German units when planning their strategies in the game. This page is a strategy guide for Command and Conquer on the SEGA Saturn. It's diving into GDI Missions 4 and 5. Mission 4, titled Breakthrough, is all about quickly grabbing a container. The guide suggests ignoring enemies and using APCS to rush to the objective. It emphasizes that the APC is crucial because infantry alone can't survive direct combat. The tip here is to load up your infantry into the APCS and make a dash for the container, avoiding unnecessary fights. Mission 5, named Intrigue, focuses on repairing and reinforcing a damaged base. The main goal is to find a destroyed base, repair it, and then build up your forces. The guide suggests taking your time, reinforcing your infantry, and then attacking the enemy barracks. A key piece of advice is to repair all the base buildings after capturing it, and to patiently build up to around 3040 infantry units before launching an assault on the enemy barracks to cut off their reinforcements. The guide highlights using hand grenades to equip infantry when reinforcing, and also reminds players not to forget to reinforce vehicles for increased firepower. Overall, the advice for both missions is to play smart, utilize APCS effectively in Mission 4, and be methodical in base building and infantry reinforcement in Mission 5. This analysis covers 3 NOD missions in Command and Conquer for SEGA Saturn. Mission 3, Occupation, involves rescuing comrades by capturing a facility without destroying it. The recommended strategy is to soften the enemy with soldiers, then seize buildings with engineers, establishing a base with power and Tiberium production. Mission 4, Slaughter, requires reaching a village and burning it down, focusing on quick travel and coordinated units. Mission 5, Destruction, tasks players with eliminating the enemy air force. This mission is more challenging, demanding vehicle-focused tactics, efficient Tiberium harvesting, and air defense setup.
Destroying enemy refineries early is also crucial.
The guide highlights that NOD missions are geared towards experienced players, emphasizing resource and troop management. It also notes a shift towards a Rambo style for upcoming GDI missions. This guide focuses on crafting effective investigation reports within The Unsolved, emphasizing how early choices impact later game sections. It uses a murder case in Ross as an example, guiding players through key branching points like pursuing contacts, Omega Contact, acquiring items, Red Imperial Stone, and avoiding traps, Joyce's Enticement. The guide provides examples for the UFO scenario, starting with the assumption an extraterrestrial biological entity, EB, committed the crime. Players are instructed to research EBES, consult resources, and interview key figures like UFO enthusiast Tom, researcher Henry Moore, and a biologist. The goal is to determine if Mac can conclude EB involvement. The guide highlights ending examples, X1 and X2, with the former attributing murders to EBES and the latter pointing to terrestrial amphibian involvement. This guide outlines investigation strategies for high-level endings in The Unsolved, focusing on two scenarios. In the TED scenario, craft a contrived theme. Players investigate a homeless man and a conspiracy involving UFOs and EBES. Success requires exploring seemingly outlandish leads, like cattle mutilation and messages from Omega, to achieve endings implicating EBES or military involvement. The cult scenario, pursue secrets related to Red, revolves around murders linked to the Red Imperial Stone medical facility. Players must uncover secrets tied to the color red and the facility, including interviewing key figures like David in juvenile detention, Isabella, and Mitra. High-level endings here reveal perpetrators such as Gonzalez Sereno and Jonathan, connected to specific murders. Both scenarios stress thorough investigation and pursuing all clues to unlock the most revealing conclusions. This page is a vibrant celebration of Capcom games, specifically for Rockman's 10th anniversary. It's packed with news and fan content. There's a news section announcing special events and attractions related to Rockman, Mega Man, to celebrate its 10th anniversary. Mentioning a report will be in the next issue. Then there's a section called This Week's Big Hit, highlighting Biohazard, Resident Evil, featuring Jill Valentine, with a reader comment calling her cute and mentioning zombies. The Big Pushroom section showcases fan submissions, including quiz and coloring, and story manga corners. 2 ranking charts are featured. Transplant Hope ranking lists games fans want ported, with Alien vs. Predator at the top, followed by Capcom World and Vanishers. The limited edition is this. Ranking lists desired bonus items for limited editions. Topping the list is Secrets of Settings and Development, followed by Rainbow-Colored Gal's Absolute Area, and requests for voice collections and bonus credits. The Capcom Consultation Room is open for questions to Capcom, with a submission deadline of May 20th. Finally, a big announcement. Cyberbot's release is decided. It's hyped as a complete package for versus and CPU battles, and they're still accepting illustration submissions for it. This week's giveaway includes Battle Circuit, secret files and design documents, items normally unseen, for 3 lucky winners. Capcom's Osaka Development Building hosted a report on April 18th, highlighting the upcoming Rockman Grand Expo, a celebration of the Rockman's 10th anniversary. The event, taking place on May 3rd, features a free entry and limited to 1,000 attendees. The expo promises Rockman-themed prizes, including radio-controlled cars and designer autographs. Interviews with Capcom developers Funasaka Norio, Fujimoto Takanori, and Inafune Keiji are included. Inafune expresses his views on game difficulty, particularly his reservations about easy modes and their potential impact on player enjoyment. Discussion also centered on Rockman X4, emphasizing the gameplay differences between Zero and Mega Man, the game's extensive animation, and its depth. The report anticipates a large turnout and a lively atmosphere at the expo. Capcom developers discussed their projects, starting with Battle Circuit, a side-scrolling action game with popular special moves, and an upgrade system allowing players to purchase abilities like Heat and Kick. They're aiming for balanced characters and seeking player feedback on boss difficulty. Regarding Darkstalkers 3, Vampire Savior, on SEGA Saturn, they are targeting near-arcade perfection,
aiming for 100% in extra content and features. They hope SEGA will boost Saturn's market through increased marketing. The developers also mention the HoloCap campaign and propose internal measures. The article concludes with a glimpse into the employee cafeteria and previews future content on Vampire Savior and the Capcom development building.
We've come all the way to Tama Zoo! Is a fun promotional article about a visit to the Tama Zoological Park featuring Hudson Soft's Mr. Goy, director of Willy Wombat. The article, part of a series, highlights the Australian animal section, with a focus on wombats, kangaroos, and emus. Mr. Goy, guided by Emus Uji, interacts with the animals, particularly the popular wombat, Clampcoon. The article encourages readers to learn about wombats, connecting them to the miracle gem-loving Willy Wombat character, and the Hudson homepage for more information. Funny sound effects and speech bubbles keep the tone lighthearted.
The article also provides zoo details like entry fees, opening hours, and directions.
The behind-the-scenes section reveals that Miss Fuji found wombats relatable to game characters, pleasing Mr. Goy. It seems to promote a Hudson game or project using the zoo visit. This page is dedicated to Just Meet Elf and the Forbidden Fruit Corner. It highlights new merchandise and games from Elf, a company known for adult-themed content. First up are Downgrade student trading cards, boasting 92 different types in 8 categories, including adult cards. These are coming soon in May. There's also news of a novel adaptation of Downgrade Student, described as a slightly risque love comedy, focusing on the characters Miyuki and A, with illustrations by Mr. Monoi. For fans of collecting, there's the Elf-supervised Downgrade Student Pin Badge Collection, featuring cute pins of 13 girls, priced at 4,800 yen. The magazine suggests displaying them casually. In the Elf Transmission Board section, someone involved in voice acting for Elf games shares experiences from the recording studio, mentioning the voices of characters like Yumiki and Mayumi Madoka. Tama's Corner, Tama's Mutterings, is aimed at players of Downgrade Student, asking about their dating experiences in the game and highlighting the trading cards again. Shifting gears, the page introduces Foxy 2, a game for those 18 and over, described as a full-fledged world-setting simulation game where you pilot mecha suits in space battles with various events. It seems quite different in genre from Downgrade Student. Finally, there's an Elf from Present section, which is a giveaway for Foxy 2. The deadline is May 15th, and readers are encouraged to send in their opinions and feedback to the magazine's editorial department. The next page welcomes you to Kadota Aya World, and it looks like we have a 4-panel comic strip drawn by Kadota-sensei, exclusively for Satamaga. The intro text talks about the scary experience of being so sleepy you might mistake face wash for toothpaste. The comic itself seems to be a relatable story about a manga artist.
In the first panel, she's saying just a word, maybe about to start drawing. Then we see her at the doctor's complaining about shoulder pain and needing some pain relief medication. The third panel shows her struggling with menstrual pain while trying to work. Finally, she seems to have found a solution as she pulls out some pills from her purse, exclaiming, "That's right." At the bottom, there's a call for fan letters to Kadota-sensei, encouraging Saturn fans to send their support and presents to Kadota Aya-sensei, care of the editorial department. And to tease the next issue, it mentions that there will be a surprising secret revealed about Maki-san's cavity. SEGA AM R&D Department Number 1's Daima Jinaito spotlights the House of the Dead, focusing on Stage 3, Truth. This stage, set in a chemical factory, introduces tougher, sometimes metal-armored, enemies, including Muddy, Rova, and tarantulas. Players are advised to conserve health due to fewer recovery points. The boss is a giant spider, Hermit Type 6803, considered relatively easier but still a challenge. The article offers gameplay tips and strategic advice. A staff member discusses the stage's secret base atmosphere and the spider boss's design. It also explains the first branching path, using an elevator in Stage 1, and includes a map with key locations like security, cage, laboratory, and elevator. This article details branching paths in The House of the Dead. Stage 1 features a left path through a factory with close combat and a researcher to save, and a right path through a duct offering more items but greater difficulty. The second branch involves saving or killing a researcher to obtain a security card. A shutter in the factory offers left and right routes,
with the right path being longer and more challenging. The article also includes a boss strategy for Hermit, the giant spider, in Stage 3.
Players are advised to target the head and use all available firepower.
Hermit changes attack patterns as it takes damage, requiring players to adapt and dodge projectiles. The article concludes by hinting at a final mystery to be revealed in the next issue. AM2's Weekly Express, Volume 51, covers using the SEGA Saturn for internet access and provides news on the Java T-Battle Koshien Virtua Fighter 3 tournament. The page promotes the Saturn as a cost-effective alternative to SysX for browsing, specifically mentioning access to AM2's homepage.
The main focus is the Virtua Fighter 3 tournament.
AM2 will provide rapid updates on preliminary rounds, regional finals, and player interviews via their homepage, emphasizing the speed of online results.
Furthermore, the page highlights Daily Virtua Fighter, promising daily updates on various Virtua Fighter news. Content includes information about the Saturn's internet capabilities, Virtua Striker 2, and screenshots of the AM2 website running Netscape on the Saturn.
This page spotlights the AM2 publicity team, who manage their website and disseminate information across various media platforms. They encourage direct interaction, providing staff email addresses for readers to reach out. The page emphasizes the strengths of online content, contrasting it with print media's limitations, especially in delivering timely and in-depth reports like JAMA show coverage and creator interviews. A profile piece introduces Yu Suzuki, the department manager, detailing his extensive career from classic arcade hits like Hangin' and Space Harrier to Virtua Fighter 3. Both English and Japanese versions of his profile are planned for the website. The page also features the AM2 website interface, showcasing navigation options and logos for games such as Fighters Megamix and a dedicated Yu Suzuki profile section. There's a call to action for reader participation in Saturn Reader Presents, urging users to apply via email for Virtua Fighter-related gifts and content. The future direction of the AM2 homepage is discussed, stressing the Internet's crucial role in delivering rapid updates and AM2's dedication to providing daily Virtua Fighter news. Nakashima Hirofumi, the publicity section manager and Virtua Fighter editorial head, is introduced, reinforcing the commitment to daily information releases. Finally, the page underscores the importance of online media, arguing it's as vital as print and requires dedicated, skilled staff to maintain an engaging and constantly updated online presence. This page focuses on the upcoming arcade game Virtua Striker 2, announcing it's about 80% complete and undergoing final checks before release. It's highlighted as a sequel to the original Virtua Striker, built on the new Model 3 arcade board. The article offers a general check just before its launch, giving players a heads-up on the game's basics. The basic operations section explains the controls are largely unchanged from the first game, using a lever and 3 buttons. It covers offensive and defensive actions, explaining how buttons are used for short and long passes, shooting, and diving in defense. The dribble section details the simple dribbling mechanics, where moving the lever controls the player's dribbling. It mentions that while dribbling is easy and fun, overdoing it can lead to getting tackled, so players need to be careful. Finally, there's a director interview with Satoshi Mifune, who discusses the development of Virtua Striker 2. He mentions that while they've identified areas for improvement since the first game, they've been careful not to alienate existing players. The aim was to refine and enhance the experience, while retaining the core gameplay that made the original popular. The game is scheduled for release in arcades in mid-May, and supports 1 to 2 players.
Virtua Striker 2 refines the gameplay of its predecessor, focusing on improved passing and shooting mechanics. The passing system offers greater freedom, including backward passes, and introduces short, long, centering, and heel passes. The radar is crucial for positional awareness. Shooting now involves a power gauge, affecting shot strength and angle, with different shot types being viable. The game minimizes fouls and omits offsides. A new SEGA World Ranking system tracks win rates by country. The development team, led by director Mifune, aimed to refine the original Virtua Striker rather than create a completely new game, improving motion and operability using Model 2 hardware. They sought to address shortcomings of the original while preserving its core appeal, hoping to satisfy returning players and attract new ones. The next page is all about Top Skater, a skateboarding game developed by SEGA AM3. The article emphasizes that to get good at Top Skater, you really need to master turning and get a feel for the controls. It suggests watching expert players and studying their techniques, and crucially, getting to know the courses inside out. Apparently, the courses are packed with trick points
and even branching paths in the advanced levels. So knowing the layout is key to racking up high scores or pulling off stylish runs. The page features a course map, numbered 1 through 10, and screenshots corresponding to those numbered points on the map, giving you a visual tour of the course. The course designer's comment mentions that the track is designed with lots of banks, like a mid-level half-pipe, encouraging players to chain tricks together and aim for high scores by linking various techniques. It's not just about speeding through, but about skillful skating. This article highlights the course design of Top Skater, emphasizing its technical nature and trick-focused gameplay. The course, mapped from 1 to 10, offers diverse sections like stadium areas, branching paths, a tunnel, and a half-pipe-like banked section. Players are encouraged to link combos and utilize the course's features for high scores, prioritizing skillful play over pure racing. The ending sequence will showcase gameplay replays with in-game advertisements for gear manufacturers. A private showing of the game impressed Sega's Mr. Oguchi, who noted the game's popularity, particularly among fans of skiing and snowboarding. The developers also demoed the game, showcasing their skills. This SEGA Saturn Magazine Volume 12 feature dives into Cyber Troopers Virtual On Crossover, a retrospective on the series. It chronicles Virtual On's evolution, starting with its arcade release in December 1994, followed by its Saturn, X-Band Online, and PC iterations. A roundtable interview, The Truth Hidden in the Development of the Feather River, featuring a writer, industry watcher, and former editor, explores the game's creation. The discussion touches upon the game's unexpected popularity and crucial gameplay elements like step and dash. The feature also showcases a gameplay screenshot and includes quotes from the interviewees. Additional sections highlight a developer, Legendary Gamer QMR, and a Sega department slogan. It's powerful. Sega AMR&D Department. Number 3. Rush, offering a comprehensive look at Virtual On's development. This page dives into an emergency report, with a big question mark hanging over Cyber Troopers Virtual On 2, asking if its development is frozen. The page expresses shock in bold headlines like, Industry Insider Shocked, Such a Terrible Thing, and features a large photo emphasizing the game. It hints at potential development troubles, with quotes like, Dr. Watari, with a tired expression, says, I want to fish, even in my dreams, suggesting stress or burnout within the development team. Another headline points to a possible direction change at M3 Research Institute, which could imply shifts or pivots in the game's development approach. Essentially, the page is raising alarm bells and questioning the future and direction of Virtual On 2, hinting at potential development woes. Cheat Technique Go! Provides reader-submitted secrets for Sega Saturn games. For Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression, you can skip movie scenes with the code CPROFITAWELL at the title screen. After 100% completion, rename your save file to Sega to Sega Karaoke to unlock karaoke mode with songs The Reason You Were Born and Get It On. For Sankyo Fever Real Machine Simulation, holding the button at the menu unlocks the hidden Real Machine Fever Beach and Versus Table, pinball tables, usually accessed after completing all standard tables. The page also solicits more cheats from readers, with prizes for the best submissions. Readers are encouraged to submit their Sega Saturn game secrets via postcard, including their name, address, age, phone number, game title, and the cheat. This page features a special interview titled Doctor and Revolutionary, 97 Minutes, with Fuse Hideri and Ino Kenji. It looks like a serious discussion, perhaps, about the impact and evolution of video games. The text mentions the phrase, game machine curse, suggesting they are delving into deeper themes related to gaming beyond just fun and entertainment. The interview seems to be set in a studio, maybe during a recording session, with a small round table and microphones visible in the background. The text at the bottom details the setting in a recording studio for a segment called Real Sound Wind Regret. It mentions two men sitting quietly and beginning their conversation, suggesting a thoughtful and in-depth discussion is about to unfold or has already taken place for 97 minutes. In a discussion titled Doctor and Revolutionary, 97 Minutes, Fuse Hidetoh and Ino Kenji debate the nature of games. Ino criticizes modern games as lacking depth, comparing them to shallow experiences and criticizing the focus on sequels. Fuse attributes this to industry structure, not inherent flaws.
They discuss the craftsmanship decline and consider real sound games. Kurano questions if games can rival music, suggesting they lean more towards reality. They explore real sound's potential for immersive experiences, potentially surpassing real life for younger generations. They critique the current gaming setup as outdated. The segment concludes with a profile of Fuse, a scholar and writer, mentioning his books exploring themes of art, death, the brain, and life, demonstrating his intellectual approach to games and related concepts. This page spotlights Kenji Ino, the representative director of Warp Company, Limited, known for his unconventional performances and publicity tactics, described as both revolutionary and stormy. The article highlights how Ino is often called a troublemaker, but upon closer inspection he is more of a revolutionary. The page delves into a discussion about the concept of E to asobu, or playing E, referring to Ino's works D and Enemy Zero. It suggests that those who understand Ino's works are in the minority, implying that his revolutionary ideas are evident from his early works. It encourages players to experience the 3D versions of his games before they are discontinued. Featured games include Space Battleship Gamora-kun, Idle Janshi R Special Version, Furapon World, Short Warp, D no Shokutaku, D, and EO, Enemy Zero. These games are presented with their release dates, platforms, mostly 3D and Saturn, prices, and genres. The article includes a conversation where Ino discusses the role of critics and the media in game reception, mentioning how Abbey Road by the Beatles was initially interpreted in various ways by critics and the media. He believes that these interpretations and gimmicks are essential for the work to be recognized and appreciated, suggesting that the Beatles intentionally created these layers for their work to be discovered over time. He humorously mentions being 36 years old and still not understanding game critics. This SEGA Saturn soft review focuses on Civilization, the New World 7 Wonders, with opinions from the Lady Users Group, Game Mania Group, and guest game writers. The Lady Users Group praised its accessibility, graphics, and addictive gameplay. Game Mania Group highlighted the enjoyment of character development and civilization building. Guest writers appreciated the themes but found the game somewhat demanding and wished for better Saturn console integration. Other sections discuss adventure games, including Marie's Carefree Chat, noting its great voice acting and simple scenarios. Adventure game packages may include a CD drama. Info boxes provide release dates, prices, and scores. Civilization is rated difficult, with a 6.66 score, while Marie's Carefree Chat is average, with a 6.0. Civilization receives generally positive reviews, while Marie's Carefree Chat seems to be a solid adventure game. Groove on Fight, a 2D fighting game, receives mixed reviews. Female players and genre fans enjoy the character designs and treasure-esque style. High rollers praise the combo system but criticize the damage balance. Critics slam the graphics, deeming them outdated. The average score is 6.33 tens. Time Wave, a driving and shooting game, elicits divided opinions. Reviewers cite frustration with mandatory target destruction and civilian avoidance. Issues include enemy AI, difficulty imbalances, and escalating enemy vehicle strength. The average score is 5.3310. Additionally, Dragon Force 2, Kamisarishi Daichi ni, a strategy game, and Game Tengoku, a comical shooter with arcade roots, are introduced. This page showcases the new software release schedule. It's essentially a list of upcoming games for the Sega Saturn, neatly organized by release date, spanning from May through December, and even unreleased titles. The schedule is detailed with game titles, prices, developers, genres, and compatibility notes, which are mostly in Japanese, but genre abbreviations like ACT for action, RPG for role-playing game, SLG for simulation, and PUZ for puzzle are easily recognizable. Looking at the list, there's a variety of games coming, including sequels like Dragon Force 2 and Princess Maker 2, both for Sega Saturn Collection, which are already mentioned from the previous page. There's also Groove on Fight, again, listed with an expanded RAM version, likely addressing the criticisms from the previous page regarding performance. We see familiar titles, such as Sonic Jam, Virtua Fighter, and Langrisser. The genres are diverse, ranging from action and RPGs to simulation, puzzle,
shooting, and even educational titles. It appears to be a comprehensive overview for gamers looking forward to new releases on the Sega Saturn. This page continues with the new software release schedule, still packed with upcoming Sega Saturn titles. Moving into summer releases, we see games like Black Matrix, Biohazard, which is Resident Evil in the West, Bubblegum Crash, Hunter Rs, and a Predoru Disc Special Edition Cosplayers 2. There's also Lupin III, The Master File File 2, Assault Rigs, Space Battleship Yamato Rama, Doom, Primal Rage, and Return Fires. The schedule then moves to autumn and winter, listing games such as Guilty Gear, Zoldner Shield, IU Shigen Gal Act Heroism, Hopstep Idol, Sega Touring Car Championship, and Tinkle Star Sprites, among many others. We also spot Riven, the sequel to Myst, Disc Station Saturn, and Magic Knight Ray Earth Story. Right at the end, under 97 year-end, year-round, unreleased, we see a massive list of titles still in the works. It's a huge variety, covering everything from RPGs and action games to simulations and puzzle titles, showcasing the continued support for the Sega Saturn with a diverse range of software. The list is extensive, promising a lot of gaming goodness for Saturn fans in the coming months. The article explores the evolution of books in the digital age, using the PC game Lulu as a prime example. It questions the traditional view of books as solely text-based, highlighting Lulu's use of audio narration for an auditory reading experience. The piece contrasts the ease of reading printed text with the eye strain associated with digital displays, showcasing how Lulu circumvents this by focusing on listening. Inspired by scholar Kobayashi Hidio's musings on the oral versus written nature of ancient texts, the article positions Lulu as a digital innovation that brings stories to life through voice acting, resembling a radio drama with interactive control. While acknowledging the tactile appeal of physical books, the author celebrates digital formats like Lulu for offering novel reading experiences. The article also references Drive Fuse, a media scholar, and his weekly Fuse Academia column, hinting at a broader discussion of digital media. The conclusion emphasizes the enduring relevance of books, even as digital forms redefine reading engagement. This page is a Reader's Prize giveaway from SEGA Saturn Magazine. They are giving away 5 different prizes to lucky readers. First up, 20 people will win a SEGA Saturn game of their choice from titles released up to May 2, 1997. The page showcases a few of the games that might be available, including titles like Fighters Megamix with Alex Kidd, Street Fighter 02, Virtua Fighter 2, Sakura Wars 2, and Deep Fear. Next, 5 people can win a new submarine warship poster set, and 6 people can get a t-shirt set. There are also 10 Cyberbots posters and 6 manga Tridrom books up for grabs. To enter, readers need to fill out a questionnaire on an included postcard and send it in by May 9th. It also lists the winners from the April 18th issue for each of these prize categories, but it's just a list of names and prefectures. There's a contact phone number for inquiries, and a note saying you can't win multiple prizes in this draw. Finally, it lists the staff members involved in creating the magazine. This page showcases the popular manga series Elf wo Karu Monotachi, making its way to the Sega Saturn as a game. The advert is quite dynamic, with key characters from the manga prominently featured. You can see Ritsuko Inoue looking determined with a rifle and tank, while Celsia Marie Claire and Junpei Ryuzuji are positioned above her. In the background, there's a chaotic scene with other characters, possibly elves or monsters, being pursued. The overall theme emphasizes action and humor, typical of the Elf wo Karu Monotachi series. The text at the top excitedly announces that the popular manga is arriving on Saturn, and this time it's all happening in a game. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Elf wo Karu Monotachi, which is based on the popular manga series. It's highlighted as a command selection adventure game, now on sale as a 2-disc set. A bonus CD featuring the voice actors and a limited edition poster are included for first-time buyers. The advert features the voice cast, including Tomokazu Seki, Yuko Miyamura, Michi Tomizawa, Kotono Mitsuishi, and Hiroko Kasahara. Game screenshots showcase the adventure game style with menu options like see, talk, take, use, and move, hinting at humorous dialogue and scenarios typical of the series. It mentions the manga's huge popularity, with over 1.2 million copies sold and collected editions available. There's also promotion for the video and laserdisc release, paperback adaptation, TV anime soundtrack, and drama seeds. Finally, there's a contest, where players who answer the questionnaire included with the game software can win an original Teleka card via lottery. This page is showcasing Real Sound, Cause No Regret, a unique title being promoted as the world's first listening game for the SEGA Saturn. It's definitely an interesting concept, suggesting a game focused heavily on audio rather than visuals. They are highlighting it as a summer '97 release for the SEGA Saturn, coming on a hefty 3-drum set and priced at 6,400 yen.
The page also lists some of the key people behind the game, including the director and planner, Kenji Ino, alongside names for scenario, script, music, and voice cast. It seems like they're really pushing the auditory experience with this title, which is a pretty bold move and something quite different for the Saturn library.